The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect those of the Barbers Chat Network, our great partners at H&B Media, or any of our media peers. We're just five idiots who love sports and love to talk shit. If you're offended easily, then this show isn't for you. And for those who aren't offended easily, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Remember, it's only entertainment.
Getting paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
What up, y'all? It's your boy Scott, host of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. Are you an athlete looking to redefine your journey beyond the game? Introducing Athlean, your gateway to new opportunities, brand collaborations, and financial empowerment. Join our thriving community of athletes and businesses where you can connect with brands, unlock exclusive campaigns, and amplify your impact on and off the field. Are you ready to rewrite the playbook for your success? Connect with Athlean today at www.athlean.app and let your journey to greatness extend far beyond the game. Athlean, where athletes thrive. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It is the last episode of I'm Not Gonna Hold You for 2023. Man, it is your boy Scott. You know to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at BarberChairScott. It is Monday, December 18th, man. Follow the Barbershop Network at BarbershopNet. Subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/Barbershop Network, where you can check out everything like early 79th and Hallis episode. If you want to see me yell like I did yesterday after that, another excruciating Bears loss on number I don't reach one of my 30 years watching this team. You can check that out right now. The holiday special will be dropping on there first on Wednesday. We're going to get to that in just a minute. And also, you can check out Summer Sessions. I know we haven't done an episode for a month, but there's been a lot of stuff happening in pop culture that we're going to get into tomorrow on the final Summer Sessions of 2023. It will be me, it will be Bang, it will be Merk, and it will be Pappy. So tune in for that, man. But of course, you can follow us on all of those different social media platforms, man. Let's get into our rundown as we introduce the cast, and then we're going to get into my sound off. Got the sound off today. We got top storylines from the football weekend. Then we're going to go into some talk about what's been going on in the association, and then we're going to preview the big sports schedule on Christmas Day with the NFL and the NBA. Since we won't be on the air, it'll be the holidays. You need to be with your family, but we're going to have the preview. Got y'all on deck for that. Before I do my sound off, let's bring my crew in here. My co-host, man, we got JR Bang. You know to follow Bang at JR Bang on Twitter and Instagram. We've got Dante. You know to follow him at October's on Tay. And today, filling in for Mikey and Courtney, you got our guy Shaun Davis from Irish Breakdown. How you doing, gentlemen?
Terrible.
Hey, how's everybody else? Dante, Shaun, what's going on?
Hey, man, I'm just checking on, man. I talk to my boy BC and Bang just about every day, but I decided to leave Bang alone because I knew he was going to take that one hard yesterday. But no, I'm good, man. I'm good. I actually had some positive spin from that game yesterday. I really do.
I'm glad you do.
I'm looking. I've gotten over it. I have I have gotten to the point where I've accepted my fate as a Bears fan. I said earlier that, I've been pessimistic with this team all season. I have been straight media head with it, and I let myself slip back. I relapsed. I'm like an alcoholic who had a sip this weekend. So I'm not mad at the Bears. I'm mad at me for falling into it. So we're going to get into that in the first hour. Somebody chat said, this is why Dante should never be positive about the Bears. Yeah, we blame Dante. Tell him why you're still wearing that Walter Payton jersey. What'd you tell us? Did Dante freeze?
No, I couldn't hear nothing, bro. I'm back though.
Oh.
I'm back though.
I said, tell the people why you still wearing that Walter Payton jersey.
Brother, the pain is still hitting me right now. Like I got back on the bus. And y'all know I for weeks I've been saying, nah, bro, it is what it is. But they got me 2 in a row. I thought we had a chance. I mean, we did have a chance, just being honest. This is three W's. We lost 3 games in the fourth quarter this season. It's that's 3 wins that we will be in control of our own destiny right now, and it will be a completely different conversation about Justin Fields. And this is with him missing 4 games. So it's the same old Bears.
Missing 4 games and losing 3 games, up 10.
Up 10. Up 10. So
this is the life that I chose because I was not here, but y'all let me come back. And so, yesterday that one hurt. That was the first one in a long time that really was like, damn, we lost that. Hey.
We will get into that. We're going to talk about Justin Fields' future here in the free hour of I'm Not Gonna Hold You in there. It's going to be all Bears, everything in overtime. We'll be talking about a whole bunch of stuff on that, man. So tune in that. But let's start off with my sound off, man. We are the week of Christmas, man. And if anybody who I know, I'm one of a few black people who actually watch Seinfeld. And I actually thought about making a podcast called Niggas Who Watch Seinfeld. But Festivus is this Saturday. And of course, in the legendary Frank Costanza, played by the legendary Jerry Stiller. He's got a lot of legendary roles. And if you're also King of Queens truther like myself, he plays the legendary Arthur Spooner. Festivus is a day where you're able to air your grievances with people and things that you have problem with. So today we're going to air our grievances in the I'm Not Gonna Hold You sound off in the spirit of Festivus. I'm going to go first. The first grievance I'm going to air is I'm tired of seeing rappers' kids rap. In the words of my man Merk, bars are not hereditary. They're not. I don't want to see Adonis rapping. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can only stomach his father rapping every now and then. I don't want to hear him do a full video, a video that's more expensive than a lot of people's lives, which I understand that comes with being the kid of a famous person, especially a rapper. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see Northwest rapping. I don't want to see any of this going on. Get rid of these kids. I feel like I'm like Larry David when he saw Jeff and Susie's daughter singing at that bar mitzvah or whatever. I'm tired of it, bro. Stop putting them kids in front of the camera. They don't even want to do that. Let them go ahead and watch whatever kids watch. I was going to say SpongeBob, but then I realized I'm 35 years old and kids probably don't watch that show. So whatever kids watch, let them be kids and watch that. That is the first grievance I'm going to air for 2023. My number 2 grievance. I'm tired of podcasts. And yes, I know that is very hilarious considering what you're watching right now and the many other things that we do on the Barber's Chair Network, which is predominantly a podcast network. Podcast is not for everybody. I know they want to go out here. We live in this positive era where everybody's telling you can do it. No, you can't. There's a craft to this. There's a word for this. This show right here, there's a podcast version, but this is a show. We put in a lot of work in this. I don't want to hear you getting behind a microphone in front of a camera and we talking about should couples go half on dates, random topics like that. The microphone epidemic in the black community is getting almost as bad as the crack era. We need to take all these microphones, ship them out of urban communities, and get them out of there fast. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what we need to do right now. Somebody says, B-Dot says, Scott isn't his angry black man back. This is what Festivus is. I'm telling you what I'm mad about. I'm tired of podcasts. I'm tired of all of it. You know what else I'm tired of? I'm tired of people being on the airplane, and as soon as you land, everybody wants to stand up. Nigga, where's you going? The plane ain't even got to the gate yet. Chill out. Watch whatever you was watching on your iPad or your iPhone or God forbid you have an Android, whatever you watching your entertainment on or listening to, just do that. You don't need to stand up and clog the hallway up. I'm tired of it, man. And for my last grievance, I really could be here all day because y'all know there's a lot of stuff that I just don't understand. Number one is people who continuously call boneless chicken boneless wings. They are not boneless wings. Those are chicken tenders, and we need to be able to have some order in America when it comes to that. I'm not saying they're bad. I had chicken tenders from Wingstop last night. That's one thing. I have no problem with how they taste. I have a problem with how they're worded. Those are not chicken wings. Wings have the bones in them. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what it is, man. So I could be here all day on my grievances. I might actually tweet more of them because I know when I'm done with this show, I'm going to come up with other things that really annoy me. Oh, and one last thing. Here's one more grievance I got. Stop using zodiac charts to try to think you know somebody's behavior. And I know I'm probably going to ruffle some feathers of people who believe in that. I only tell women that I'm a Scorpio for a conversation. Just because I was born in October doesn't mean I'm an asshole. I'm an asshole just because I'm an asshole. That has nothing to do with the month that I was born in. So I want us to have a come to Jesus moment and get rid of this. If you're using this just for a regular conversation to spark something, that's fine. I talk a lot of stupid stuff when I'm talking to people. But when it comes to actual trying to pick up human behaviors, I need for y'all to stop it, man. I need for y'all to stop. And shout out to everybody in the chat agree with me, man. So those are my 2002 airing of grievances. I'm going to bring it to my brother, J.R. Bang, because he has some grievances to air. Bang, what you got for it?
Really, the only grievance that I got is really just revolving around what we're going to be talking about on the show today, which is Chicago Bears, and the situation that we find ourselves in. I started watching football in 1987, y'all. 1987, I was 5 years old. You know what I'm saying? I think that was Walter Payton's last season or about to be his last season, shit like that. Matter of fact, it was. Yeah, I'm old as hell.
I'm gonna do my Kevin Hart.
Like, damn. You know, but I remember, you know, the quarterback controversy between Jim McMahon, Mike Tomlin, and Jim Harbaugh, and then them getting Jim McMahon the fuck up out of there, trading his ass to San Diego during the season. And then we had Mike Tomlin and Jim Harbaugh. But the reason why I'm airing my grievance is not because of the shit that happened in the 80s. I'm going to read you a list, not a full list of starters. I'm just going to read you a list that includes Mike Tomlin, Jim McMahon, Jim Harbaugh, Steve Walsh, Eric Kramer, Dave Craig, Shane Matthews, Cade McNown, Jim Miller, Cordell Stewart, Chris Chandler, Kyle Orton, Jay Cutler, Mitchell Trubisky, Justin Fields, right? These are just some of the people who started the game for the Chicago Bears since I started watching football. And the only two times that I've ever got excited about the quarterback position for the Bears was when we traded for Jay Cutler. I was working at Best Buy in North Aurora, right? And I remember when the trade happened, and I scared everybody in the goddamn store. And everybody looked at me and said, what happened? We just got Jay Cutler. We finally got a quarterback. Well, Jay Cutler had some success for the Bears, but, you know what I'm saying, we ain't win shit. But, you know, for what it's worth and what we was dealing with, it was pretty decent. You know what I'm saying? So when we traded up to get Justin Fields, I was very excited. And this is about to be the most talented quarterback in Bears history that we're about to get rid of. How does this happen? We've gone through a list that includes Moses Marino, Rex Grossman, Henry Burris, Jonathan Quinn, Brian Greasy, Todd Collins. Remember when Jay Cutler got hurt and everybody wanted Caleb Haney to be the quarterback? We've had shitty quarterbacks. And we very rarely get somebody that was decent, especially when we draft them. Hell, we traded for Rick Meyer, ladies and gentlemen. We saw what happened with that. We finally found a quarterback with talent. And we could not do anything with that talent. So that's my grievance. That the fact that we are still dealing with this, for me, since 1987, and we actually had a quarterback with some talent that we drafted, and it still didn't work. We'll find out more a little bit later about why I'm pissed. That's my main grievance.
All right, Dante, do you have anything you want to air?
Yeah, I got one real quick when I was sitting here thinking about it. It kind of goes in line with what we were just talking about with the quarterback that we have at the Bears. But my grievance with the NFL for releasing all 22s to the public.
Yes, thank you.
That was probably the dumbest shit they ever did, because now everybody swears that they are a quarterback coach. They know when receivers are open. They know what the progression was when they don't even know the play. But they're going to tell you based off what they watched or a screenshot that they saw that receiver was open. He messed this play up, and this is why this quarterback is terrible. It was a terrible decision. I understand that they want to give people more access. They want everybody to, you know, get smarter about football, which is what you should be using this for. But you should be listening to the people who actually played the game and actually know what's going on. Not sitting out here making these clips. And it's always crazy when you see a former NFL player, you see somebody who's playing right now, who they'll quote tweet somebody's video and say that's not what's going on at all. Like, that, you're just wrong. Like, this wasn't an RPO. That's not what we were doing here. So it's funny. So no, that was a terrible move by the NFL. You know, I get, you know, what the intent was, but no, we need to take that shit down. No more.
Shaun, man, you are a guest today. Do you have any grievances to air on anything? You are muted, my guy.
I do.
There we
I want to put my sister in as my grievance.
Oh, okay, all right.
And all people that ask individuals to come help them move.
Oh,
And
yes.
when you get there, they haven't packed the damn thing.
Yes.
That's the most irritating thing in the world. I tell you, I have a full day of podcasts. We got recruiting news. I have to break, and I got to be back at 12. I get there at 8, and you are taping up your first box of dishes.
It's a problem.
That's a huge problem. And I want to air grievance of college football. Not about Florida State, not about other things, but the way the transfer portal is ruining things for high school kids. Over 1,000 kids in the transfer portal. It's absolutely ridiculous. We're talking about a defensive end from Florida State who went 13-0, was one of the best pass rushers as an underclassman, and probably was going to be a first-round pick. And this gentleman goes to his coach, Mike Norvell, and says, I have a NIL offer. Yeah, Pat Payton, NIL offer. Kid had 12 sacks on the season, and asked Mike Norvell, after an undefeated season, can you match it? And when Mike Norvell says, I can't match it, he said, well, I'm going to have to hop in the portal. This is where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. Now, you can't knock the hustle because for years, college coaches have done this to kids. They told them they're going to be around when they recruited them. They told them they're going to be around when they arrived on campus. And the first chance they got to go get the bag, that's exactly what college coaches did. So, you know, what good for the goose is good for the gander right now in college football. But right now, coaches are taking kids that are transferring and snatching scholarships from high school kids. And that is a darn shame as National Signing Day approaches on this Thursday.
Thank you, gentlemen, for airing your grievances in the spirit of Festivus. RP the legend, Jerry Stiller, man. Let's get into it, man. As I said, this is the last I'm Not Gonna Hold You 2023. Before I do that, I just want to say shout out to everybody who has watched an episode, retweeted a clip, watched the reel. Even if you don't like us, even if you don't like what I say, I found out we got haters now. I found out this past week we got haters. You know, people subtweeting us. Yeah, when I put the tweet in the group chat, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna get a nigga any more shine.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? People, niggas talk like what the whole said. A lot of niggas talk real greasy behind them R&B records. Like nobody using that F button. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good. Y'all still watching, so I appreciate it, even if it's positive or negative, man. For everybody who watch, I'm Not Gonna Hold You in 2023. We're gonna get even bigger and better in 2024. But on Friday, we have the I'm Not Gonna Hold You holiday special. I took a trip up to BK, Brooklyn, New York, 2 weeks ago to shoot this. I want to give a shout out to my director, Nikhil. Nikhil is the man behind the magic. He does all our reels. He does a lot of our video content. This dude, I call him my young Padawan, man. This is Star Wars. You know what I'm saying? I'm this Star. I'm like Anakin. You know what I'm saying? What Damien say? Scott punching his fist together like the villain from Inspector Gadget. Very Damien reference there. But shout out to everybody, you know, who helped me out in New York. It's me and my homie Alan Patron. If you're not in tune with him, man, he is a New York Times bestselling author, media personality. Shout out my guy Randy Wilkins. If you don't know Randy, I don't know what Rocky been on. He is the director of the ESPN 30 for 30, The Captain, which is on Derek Jeter, 3-time Emmy Award winner. You know, he's almost like Spike Lee's protege, man. I had him on too. So we're going to play the trailer for that holiday special right now. Now, I want to be very clear. I never believed in Santa Claus. And it's not anything that was like anti-Santa or anything like that. It just, as a kid, it just didn't make any sense to me. When I was a little kid, we lived in an apartment. So I was like,
how did he get in here?
How the is he getting in here? Mm-hmm. And then one night, I went to the bathroom and I caught my father putting gifts under the tree. And that just confirmed every theory I had at the moment. But I let him have it. I keep putting them cookies out there, knowing that was eating them. And I was like, whatever, I'm gonna let him have it.
Should put Dad at the bottom.
Yeah, should have put Dad. Enjoy your cookies.
Halle Berry, when I seen Halle Berry on
Fifth
Avenue.
You saw he just randomly dropped that Halle Berry.
No, I said I seen her. I didn't say Halle Berry called me on FaceTime. I said I saw her on Fifth Avenue. I didn't say I know her.
But I have been told that Joe's Pizza has the best pizza in New York, so we about to find out. We're gonna do Goofy Mog of the Year.
I didn't say that. Actually, I apologize.
Yes, sir, man. So that will be dropping Wednesday on Patreon at 4 p.m. Eastern for all of our amazing paid, subscribers and customers, and then it will be on the free feed on the H&B YouTube on Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern, man. And it's just not me; the whole crew is involved. Bang, Dante, Mikey, Courtney made some feature appearances in here as well via satellite, like The Rock in 2002. So that's gonna be fun. Check that out, man. But let's get into some football, shall we? Let's get into some football. About what's been going on in the NFL, man. Top storylines of the NFL football weekend. I want to start off with something that is very dear to us because we are Bears fans. We need to talk about inevitability. We need to talk about things that you can't stop. And one thing that you can't stop, Bears fans, is that the Justin Fields era is coming to an end. I know it hurts. I know we don't want to accept it. I really don't want to accept it. I've been a Justin Fields fan, man, since I seen him on QB1 on Netflix. I saw him at Ohio State. And I remember that big touchdown he threw to Chris Olave. I think it was in the Sugar Bowl. One of like the 6 touchdowns he threw. And I was like, man, I would love to have that dude as my quarterback. Little did I know, 4 months later he would. Now, we sit up here all day and talk about all the ways he's been wrong. We've talked about this on the show many times. I'm pretty sure we're going to talk about it many times over the next 3 to 4 months. So this is the number one topic. But one thing that stuck in me last night, outside of me being very upset that lost, is this era is over.
Lost.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was very crazy. that was real crazy. False. Is that this era is over. This era is over, and we just need to accept that. We can sit about what we can say, woulda, coulda, shoulda, but it's time for Justin to go on and to have a fresh start, to be able to be the great young quarterback that I believe he can be, that a lot of people believe he can be. And I think if you're looking from a Ryan Poles position too, job's on the line, man. Job's on the line, and I think he's going to bring his new quarterback. I don't think it has. I hope it has nothing to do about 100% just setting the clock, resetting the clock. But as Bang says, it's business. Is one thing him and Mikey was trying to drill in my head last week, which I knew. Like I said, I'm just a notorious double downer, and even when I'm wrong, I'm gonna still act like I'm not. But I had to have a come to Jesus moment last night just to admit that it's over. And I just, I don't really care who it is at this point. I don't care if it's Justin or Caleb. I just want this team to figure it out. Finally figure it out and, try to get this team on the winning track, man. I'm going to go to our guest first, Shaun. What's your take on, last night, this whole season, and what you think that, do you think the Justin Fields era is over, or maybe you're still in the minority people think that maybe he's still going to be here next year? Muted again, dog.
When I look at it, I've been listening to Matt Eberflus lately and some of the interviews he's been doing, and he's been very hesitant to say something negative about Justin Fields when asked. And I think he might not want to upset the apple cart, which makes me believe that even though the front office might be leaning a certain way, I don't think they're totally convinced on what they're going to do right now at this very moment. Now, could yesterday's performance have swayed them one way or another? Probably so, depending upon who's in the room. But as for Ryan Poles, I really don't think he knows, right? Because there's only one other option. Drake May is not an option. He's not an option. It's either Justin Fields or it's Caleb Williams. That's flat out. Either you want to reset the clock, give yourself some more financial stability or flexibility to be able to bring in more talent, or not. When you look at it, it really is financial flexibility versus draft capital. Something that Ryan Poles didn't have a lot of when he first got the job with the Chicago Bears. He has an opportunity to extend that maybe for 2 more drives based upon what Peter King said the going rate for this first round, this number 1 pick is right now, with 3 first-round picks connected to it. So, how do you say no to 3 first-round picks, keeping Justin Fields, and then possibly Caleb Williams, and not having draft capital moving forward to make the team around whoever is at quarterback better? It's an interesting quandary for Ryan Poles and everybody up at Hallis Hall. But as far as this season, I'm all for it because I love the fact that exposure has taken place. I think Justin Fields has been the scapegoat for a long time. And I think everybody has had the covers pulled off of them. The staff, heck, they lose the same way they lose assistants. You don't know what the heck is going on. Like you do. I don't know why they lost that game. I don't know why Alvin Williams is not a coach. Like you just never get the truth with this organization, and you don't know why they lose games. It's just like Bang said earlier. How do you lose double-digit leads in the fourth quarter? Like historically, no head coach in the NFL has done that. Matt Eberflus is the first head coach to lose more than 2 games with a double-digit lead and a +2 turnover ratio going into the fourth quarter. You can't make this type of stuff up. It's straight Hollywood. But I'm happy it's going the way that it is because, in my opinion, it removes Justin Fields from being the scapegoat, regardless of what decision they make concerning the quarterback moving forward.
Bang, man. I'm gonna let you run. I know this is more than many times you're gonna be going off today.
Nah, I said it. I ain't gonna say I said enough in the beginning, but you never drafted a quarterback this talented, and the team messed him up. Like I want him to go. I don't want him to stay because there's just too many questions. Like if you fire Eberflus, I don't expect the head coach in waiting to come in and say, I want to keep Justin Fields in the first place. The only way Justin stays a Bear, only way, is that if the Carolina Panthers defeat Packers or the Jaguars or the Buccaneers. 2 of those 3 games are at home. And I said on this show here that I think that they're going to win one more game. We'll see what happens with the Patriots and the Cardinals, but the Cardinals are not in the position to get a quarterback. They don't want to get a quarterback. So they'll be that team that'll mess around to get the 3 first-round picks because they got Kyler Murray. The Patriots, they'd love to get that number 1 pick. That's the only way Justin Fields is not going to leave this team. And I think it would be better for him to dip because of everything that's going on. Let's just pick a head coach. Let's just pick one. You know, Eberflus get fired. Let's pick one. Let's go. Let's say, what's my man name in Detroit? Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson is going to look at this team and look at the quarterback position. And like I said last week, he's going to have to make a decision. Say if Justin Fields better than Caleb Williams. All right. Or is they on the same level? If they're on the same level, he picking Caleb. If he thinks Justin Fields is better by far, he's going to stay with Justin. But the only way us Bears fans who love Justin and all of that and think he's getting a raw deal, the only way that's not going to change, and we're not going to see him in an Atlanta or Pittsburgh uniform or a Patriots uniform, is if the Bears do not have the number 1 pick. And it's a damn shame. Like Shaun said, the wool was finally pulled over this team in the last 2 weeks. I've heard more players talking about the game plan for all Mooney faults, yesterday in the last couple of weeks. He said that the offense came out too comfortable. How does this team have the right to even think to come out to be comfortable? How does he have the right to even say that and really mean it? That's bad. You got Justin Jones like, I never practiced that. They put him out in a play that he never practiced, and other than just being a football player, had no idea what he was doing at that moment because they never practiced it. You got DJ Moore looking at the press crazy like, stop asking me this question. Stop. Justin Fields is better than these other 2 dudes. They're talking now. That don't bode well for the coaching staff. But for the incoming coaching staff, you have to go, I want my own person. And I don't blame them for wanting their own person. So, Justin, hey, Godspeed. I'm going to be a fan of you. And I'm going to be hopefully I'll be looking at one of these other teams saying, damn, we really messed up. But at the same time, I gotta hope that Caleb Williams is good too. Wow.
I think you just said it. Like I'm rooting for Justin to succeed. I'm a big Justin fan. I'm not gonna lie, he's not a Bear anymore. I'm rooting for him to. Is as messed up as this is for the Bears. I'm also petty, and I would love to be here a year from. Not really, because it would hurt the Bears, but just for my personal satisfaction, it would be hilarious if a year from now Justin's ripping it up. Let's say he's on Atlanta. Atlanta's winning the NFC South. Granted, that's not a hard division to win, but they're winning the NFC South. He's having a Pro Bowl caliber year, and we up here talking about how many fumbles Caleb Williams has. That would be chef's kiss if that happened. So these idiot Bears fans and some, I have to say some media now, and not all, because I think of Killer Cam, who is one of my favorite rappers of all time. He said, "We the new media. I don't have to be politically correct like a lot of you niggas because I pay me." You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not like, oh, they don't want me to do this. I can say what I want. And there's a lot of people in the media, even people on the Bears media, who are dumb when it comes to this topic. And I would love to see them with egg on their faces in a year from now, if that is what the likely situation is. Dante, tell us what you think. Are you with us that you think it's a wrap for Justin?
I mean, as much as I want to say it's a wrap, because I mean, at the end of the day, we all know NFL business trumps all, and so it makes more sense. You got the pick, you go get the quarterback, you reset the QB clock, as opposed to, even though he gonna be cheap for these 3 years that we still can play around with. But at the end of the day, every regime goes out and they get their guy, and we've seen it from day one. And with Justin, it just hasn't seemed like they really want to coach him. But every time I say that, I take a step back and I look at the whole picture since he's been here. Year one, you had a lame duck head coach. Year two, you were blatantly tanking. So when we sit here and talk about his win-loss record, how can you hold that against him when the team last year had absolutely no weapons on it, and we all knew that? This year he's come in and shown flashes. They're gonna, well, right now we're stuck on 5, but they'll probably double the win total from last year. You've seen the plays that you wanted to see from him. Well, obviously we haven't seen the consistency. That's the only thing you haven't seen. So when I look at all of that, I don't see how you just move away from that when you have a potential to get the type of draft haul you can get with this number 1 pick. If somebody's out there offering 3 first-round picks, or like we've been talking about for weeks, if we can go back and holler at the Raiders again and get at least 2 firsts and Max Crosby, like to do things like that, something that really takes this team to the next level. It's like, how do you pass that up? It's like Herb Howard said, you have to be pretty much guaranteeing that Caleb is a Hall of Famer if you that serious about taking him. So, I mean, at the end of the day, like we said, though, business trumps all in the NFL. So, unfortunately, it was going to take him running the table and going to the playoffs and probably winning the playoff game to keep his job anyway. So, I think even if he wins these 3 games and they somehow mysteriously sneak in, it's still a wrap. So, well, because even if you change coaches, you got 3 coaches in 5 years. Nah, they're not gonna do that.
And speaking of the pick, there's no 100% guarantee that pick is going to be number 1, as the Carolina Panthers actually won a football game last night, beat the Atlanta Falcons. Shout out all our shout out our 2 guys at King's Landing, which is on the Barbershop Network right now. My guy Jared, there was a lot of Desmond Ridder talk. There was a lot of Desmond Ridder talk. It's looking kind of crazy right now.
And now it's a lot of Justin Fields talk. It's crazy. The whole city in Atlanta, they're like, yeah, go ahead and bring us Justin Fields immediately.
Well, how the turntables. That's exactly how I feel right now, man. But the Panthers won a game last night, and they're the Patriots lost again, so they only have a 1-game lead up on that number 1 draft pick. Now they do have the strength of schedule going against them, as the tougher schedule, so they still technically have a 2-game lead. And if you look at their next 3 games, I got it right here, they're going to be playing the Green Bay Packers at the crib this coming Sunday, which the Packers just lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which makes that loss the Bears had even more excruciating, because everything that needed to happen for the Bears happened. The Vikings lost to Jake Browning and the Cleveland and then the Cincinnati Bengals. The Packers lost to the Buccaneers. NFC South team lost. All things need to happen. These niggas can win the game, but they play the Packers this week, and then they go on the road to play Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars. And then they end the season back at home against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm going to go to Bang first because he's been on this conspiracy, not even conspiracy theory, but he's been on theory all year that he is like, I'm telling y'all, it's not stuck set in stone that they're going to get the number 1 draft pick. Bang, are you still on that island?
Yeah, because I told y'all that the Panthers was going to lose to it was going to beat Atlanta. That's one of the games that I had picked. Y'all looked at me crazy when I said they was going to take.
I did.
Yeah, y'all looked at me crazy when I said that they might take that Packers game and that Buccaneers game too. Plus, when it comes to division games, you throw records out the way. Hence the Atlanta game. So I'm not so sure that the Bears is going to get that number 1 pick because teams wet the bed. Now, the way that the Buccaneers look now, maybe that's not going to be the case, but at the same time, towards the end of the season, what I'm saying, if you don't make it to the playoffs, sometimes you just put you take the foot off the gas. So that could potentially happen when you look at that Buccaneers game. But if you're looking at the Buccaneers fighting for the division crown, because it's probably not going to be a wild card, then yeah, the Panthers going to get their ass whooped in North Carolina.
It's definitely not going to be a wild card. NFC South only getting 1 team up enough.
Yep, they only get 1 team.
The Saints. I forgot the Saints 7 seed. I'll take that back. Saints 7 seed.
Yeah.
NFC South having 2 playoff teams to tell you that the NFC is a JV league, and why the Bears should even be more ashamed of what they pulled this season. Shaun, man, I'm gonna go to you next because we're talking about, you said that you feel it's only going to be Justin Fields and Caleb Williams. Let's play devil's advocate for a minute. Let's just say something happens, the Panthers win a couple games, or win 1 more game, and the Patriots keep losing, and that pick is number 2. That changes the whole conversation. What do you think the Bears do then if that pick ends up being a number 2 pick?
Ryan Poles is happy as a fat kid with cake. That's all that relieves all the pressure of having to choose between Justin and Caleb. Because if it's Justin and Drake May, it's like, dude, keep Justin, trade the number 2, pick up assets, and build a team around Justin Fields. The decision becomes much easier. So that would actually help Ryan Poles, in my opinion. Now, when you think about that, how far do you go down, right? Because if you still want to be in range to get Marvin Harrison Jr., that might be pick 3. So,
yeah,
that's the next challenge then. Like, how do I hold on to Marvin Harrison Jr., right? But this is
you got to pick him at
class.
2.
Yeah, this is a pretty thick class. You either pick Marvin Harrison Jr. or you trade for assets for somebody that wants to come up and get Drake May. Or you fall in love with one of the other wide receivers in a pretty thick class.
Neighbors.
And you say, DJ Moore is my 1, and I just need to go get him a really good compliment. So it's an easier decision, in my opinion, than trying to choose between Caleb Williams and Justin Fields. So Ryan Poles would probably take a nice deep exhale and say, man, I'm glad I don't have to make that decision that I thought I was going to have to make.
I keep telling y'all, watch the Commanders. Watch the Commanders. Even if the Bears get the number 1 pick, and they say
the Commanders might be able. The Commanders might sell their soul.
Fam, I keep telling. I broke it down to y'all last week. Caleb is from DC. He went to Gonzaga Prep. If you are the Commanders, you look at your wide receiver room, which is pretty decent. You got a decent running back. You do need an offensive line. You know what I'm saying? And you could coach up that defense with some of the people you got. Keep saying, man, watch the Commanders. Magic Johnson, first of all, Josh Harris ain't said nothing. He said nothing. But we know Ron Rivera ass is gone. As soon as that game is over with, they're going to give him the game ball, say thank you. And then what's my man name on Fox? Jay Glazer going to be like, yeah, the Commanders just fired Ron Rivera, and the new search for a coach starts now.
I was in the gym with Magic Johnson this week, and Irvin told me this. That story always start with Jay Glaze in the gym with a nigga. This is what I say
but
about this. A lot of people, and I've learned this from living in LA, and I learned about Magic's, I won't say unsavory, Magic's cutthroat business tactics. I had an older lady go off about Magic and how he moves in real estate in my Uber one time. It was just the most random thing ever. I was come from work when I was working at Amazon. I'm like, lady, if you don't drive this damn car, like I don't care about Magic in his houses he's got in his apartments he got in the Crenshaw district. But Matt, don't get that smile messed up. Magic's stone cold killer, and Magic don't like to lose. So I'm with Bang on that. I know a lot of people, shout out Kyle in the chat said Malik Neighbors. That's something that also Mikey brought up.
Might be mine. Yep.
On the show. I call Malik Neighbors. We have Marvin Harrison Jr. at home. That's what I call him. So that would be a nice backup if you can get Malik Neighbors. But I keep telling you, everybody keeps talking about generational talents. The only generational talent in this draft is Murder Marv Jr. It is Super Marv. That's why I personally would take him at 1. I understand. I know draft nerds. I talk about trade value. No, nigga. Talk about the player. I don't care about trade value. We saw painfully obvious this weekend that DJ Moore needs a running mate. It will be Spider-Man and Miles Gonzalez. No, I said Miles Gonzalez. Miles Morales. I know Marvel fans gonna throw a rock at me. Miles Morales. I said Miles Gonzalez. Miles Morales.
You know that nigga back in Chicago.
This is a nigga who 2 cups of whiskey and eggnog in right now. That's what that is. But anyway, Miles Morales. That would be Peter Parker and Miles Morales. You know what I'm saying? Go get your guy. That's who you need to go get. But Dante, what's your whole feeling about? The wackier things have happened in the NFL. We didn't think the Bears was going to get the number 1 draft pick last year. We was like, for sure, Houston's going to get it. What's your thoughts on this whole thing going on?
I mean, that's the NFL today, bro. I mean, I think it was crazy to just assume that the Panthers weren't going to win another game. I know we kept talking about how bad they were, but at the end of the day, bro, you have we won 3 games last year and got the number 1 pick. Those teams, like the Detroit teams, and even those old Cleveland teams, they were like historically bad. And like the Panthers weren't historically bad. They just had players that got hurt. Like they had some games early on that were closer than they could have won, but things didn't go their way. But they weren't like historically bad. So I mean, like you said, crazier things have happened. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get the number 1 pick. And I hear y'all about Marvin Harrison, but I also say this at the same time. I was talking to Jared about this before last episode of King's Landing. I'm starting to look at wide receiver the same way I look at running back. Like every year, some great run. Let me finish. Hold on. Let me finish. Y'all keep talking about put the gold jacket on him, and don't get me wrong, he could very well be a future All-Pro, great wide receiver. I don't need the best wide receiver in the league to win a Super Bowl. I need competent wide receivers that can run these fucking routes and catch the ball. So if we in 1, 2, or 3, and I can trade down and get multiple years worth of first round picks, and I can add blue chip talent to this team, I'm sorry. I know y'all are stuck on Marvin Harrison Jr., and I get it because he is nice. Every time I turn on the TV to watch him, he's going crazy. But drafting him at number 1, hell no. Drafting him at number 2, I can't do that either. Number 3, maybe. But if you got 1 or 2, and you stay with Justin, you got to flip that pick, bro.
It depends on where the teams are placed. I feel you. I agree with you just to a point. It depends on where the teams are placed. The Carolina Panthers don't need they need everybody. All right. And we got that pick. So thank y'all, everybody in Carolina. All right. You got the Patriots who need a lot of things, but they definitely need a quarterback. So Drake May it is. Perfect fit, when you think about it too. But when you go to the Cardinals, they are earmarked for Marvin Harrison Jr. unless something happens. So if the Bears are at the number 2 pick, you have to make a decision. Do you let's say it is, even if it's the number 2, let's just say, for instance, the Washington Commanders call and they tell you we'll give you our number 1 this year, of course. We'll give you our number 2, not the number 2 you gave us for Montez Sweat to make it more attractive. But then also we'll give you a number 2 in the number 1 next year, and let's just say a number 4 for that number 1 pick. So we could go ahead and get us a quarterback because we need it. If they're not enamored with Sam Howell, I don't think they are. I think they like, yo, we got a 4th round pick as a quarterback. That ain't what we need right there. So if that's the case, the Bears got to make a decision. Do you trade and get capital, or do you get the generational talent? Because you can't move past 2 and expect Marvin Harrison Jr. to be there. You're gonna have to get Neighbors or my man from Washington. I forgot his name. Yep, you're gonna have to go get him or something. Shouts out to Leon Rogers. I don't know if he's listening to this or watching this, but he came when I had talked about this a couple of weeks ago. He brought up the idea of the 2 tight end set being real big for the Bears and DJ Moore, and having Cole Kmet on one side and having Brock Bowers. You got a lot of decisions that you can make at that point. But if you want Marvin Harrison, you can't go past 2 because he ain't gonna be there.
And there's a technical aspect too that you have to look at, right? DJ Moore is really a guy that can play X, Y, and Z, right? So if you want to compliment him, do you really want to go get another guy, Marvin Harrison Jr., similarly that plays X, Y, and Z? Or do you want to go get a guy that's just X and Z, like a Romo Duze, like you said, Bang, that's a big body, and then you can let DJ Moore play his game, and then have someone that's a big body, like you had with Brandon Marshall and Alshon Jeffrey, and kind of, work off of that combination. There's a lot of things that you can do, and this comes down to the Bears staff, their scouts, and what they find out, and how they eventually want to build out this offense, especially if they have a new offensive coordinator coming in, because his input is going to be prevalent in this decision as well. So they have some big decisions to make. I feel good about being in certain spots. I would feel much better being in that number 2 spot if I was Ryan Poles. But, this is an advantageous situation. These are what you call crossroad springs for organizations. Like, this is make or break, in my opinion, for Ryan Poles. You get this decision right, and you can set your organization up for the next 5 years. You mess this decision up, and man, you're going to be out the door in another year and a half.
I want to have the Marvin Harrison debate in overtime because I have more to say about that. We're on a little time crunch.
Y'all got to stop.
You. What even they say? Ask a 9, ask a 10, ask 11.
Y'all got to stop, bro.
You wildin' every quarter. Every Super Bowl contender got an all-star wide receiver, and even if you want to include Kansas City, they had. I guarantee you, Pat would sell his kids for Tyreek Hill right now.
I didn't say don't add a good receiver. First of all, we already got DJ Moore. I'm saying you don't need a great generational Hall of Famer, all that shit y'all keep saying. I feel you. I hear you.
You do,
but you don't.
Yes,
you don't need that.
Yes, you do.
You don't need it.
This nigga is different. I will ship DJ Moore to the Taliban for Marvin Harrison Jr.
But whoa.
And I love DJ.
Okay. Let me throw something out there. Just gonna throw this out there real quick, y'all, because I just heard what you just said, Scott. You said you will ship him somewhere.
Yes.
DJ Moore got a tradable contract.
He does. I didn't say trade him.
No. Hear me out. Hear me out, y'all. I'm not saying I would do this. Let me first say this. I'm not saying that I would do this. But he has a tradable contract, and he's overplayed his contract too. That's the other thing too. He has a tradable contract, and he is overplayed what Carolina gave him, which a couple of years ago, was great for the wide receiver room, but now it's probably at mid-market value for a wide receiver. So if he's that dead set on not making any changes in the quarterback room, and you're looking to make changes from an offensive standpoint, and knowing you need a whole bunch of pieces, do you get rid of DJ Moore?
No.
If you get some assets for him, and you can and you can get who you say, Scott, is the generational talent that is Marvin Harrison Jr.
I want to table the rest of this conversation for overtime because we have a lot more to get into. I have a lot more to say. I will respond to my player partner Damien.
You heard that? You heard that, Dante?
That Damien said last top wide receiver that was drafted in the top 10 that was cold was almost 10 years ago. Mike Evans. I'm with Dante. That is cap because Jamar Chase was drafted number 5.
Right? Yeah. What the fuck?
Jamar Chase was drafted number 5. Jamar
last
is
time the
that
Bears
nigga.
drafted a receiver that had
We ain't talking about the Bears. We ain't talking about the Bears. Why you got to bring up all this stuff?
We are talking about the Bears. That's exactly who we talking about. That's exactly
Which is why I brought Shaun. That's why I brought up that question. That's exactly why
I'm not trading DJ. I've seen the production with DJ.
No, I didn't say trade. That was a figure of speech. It's like
Ryan Poles can't move him though.
That's like me saying I would cut my hand off to be with Rihanna. I wouldn't actually cut my hand off. That's just a figure of speech. But let's move on to something and we get the rest through the rest of this. Damien say he got me. Yeah, I got you this time, DeVos. But let's go to the next one, man. This one's probably gonna be short, but this is something I found interesting. There's a triple threat match in the AFC South right now. 3 teams all at 8-6. You got the Jacksonville Jaguars, who Trevor Lawrence got away with murder once again. If Justin Fields did the things that Trevor Lawrence does each and every week, he would be getting even more than what he gets right now. They'd have been calling him a jigaboo last night if he had that type of fumble that we saw from Trevor Lawrence. That was one of the most comical fumbles I've ever seen in my life. But they lost again to a team that I cannot wait for that Ravens-Niners game. We're going to preview that later on in the show. That I know I'm probably going to be very drunk by the time the game gets on, but that's going to be a great game. But you got the Jaguars 8-6. The Colts just went to 8-6. Gardner Minshew's been playing really, really well since Anthony Richardson went down. He had 3 touchdowns this past Saturday against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then the Houston Texans. But everybody keep talking about coaching don't matter. And Justin got to do this, just do that. Look what D'Amico Ryans and them Houston Texans did with, I don't even know who was their backup this week. Who was the backup for was it Ryan Mallett? Davis Mills. You know what I'm saying? They went out there and got some respect for the Titans and their disrespecting them Oilers jerseys, which I didn't had up to here. That is Houston culture that they're trying to wipe away that I did not like. But they won off a field goal last night. So we got 3 teams in the AFC South fighting for the crown. I'm gonna go Ryan Mallett did, bro. Come on, G. I had no idea. My fault.
Damn.
My fault. Yeah. Thank you, Damien, for the RIP. I did not mean that. I was not telling a joke. I legitimately did not know. I just had to throw that out there. But I'm going to go to Dante first. Do you think the Jaguars are going to hold on? If CJ gets out of concussion protocol, maybe the Colts keep playing well. Is there anybody who could sneak up and take this division from the Jaguars?
Yeah, I mean, I know everybody's stuck on Minshew madness, but you can forget about that. I think it all depends on CJ Stroud, bro. If he can get out of concussion protocol and get back to playing the way he was, then I think the Texans are gonna make the playoffs because I had already picked the Texans to make the playoffs anyway. But concussions is nothing to play around with. So it all depends on how he comes back.
Shaun, what you got?
Man, I'm going to roll with the Jaguars here, man, and that's because I'm going to trust the fact that they're going to turn things around with that defense and lean on that defense in the running game of Travis Etienne. I'm not trusting C.J. Stroud coming out of precaution protocol probably for another week. He might probably misses another game, but you're right. D'Amico Ryans has been really impressive, and you have to give kudos to that class, that first draft class with Tank Dell, Anderson, C.J. Stroud. Jared Patterson is playing offensive line. They got him in like the 6th round out of Notre Dame. It's like, yo, they hit on about 5 or 6 guys. And with the coaching staff and the culture change, they really, really become a viable playoff contender. And that division moving forward, I think it's going to be like this with those 3 teams because don't forget, you got the young quarterback with Steichen down in Indianapolis once he gets back healthy and the rest of that team gets built out. It's going to be a 3, like I said, it's going to be a battle, man. It's going to be a Rumble Royal in the AFC South for years to come. But I'm going to take the Jaguars, man, because I just think C.J. Stroud, even when he comes back, I don't know how healthy he's going to be. And don't forget, Tank Dell is out for the year. Yeah, so that's a huge loss. So I'm just looking at the weapons that the Jaguars do have. And if Trevor Lawrence can kind of right the ship that defense, they played well last night and kept them in the game. But like you said, Trevor Lawrence and the way he played, if it was Justin Fields, the national media would have had a field day last night and this morning.
Bang, man. What's your take on the AFC South triple threat match?
Hey, man, I'm keeping it with the Jaguars. I predicted that the Jaguars would go to the AFC Championship game. I got to
them to
stick
the
with
Super
it.
Bowl, nigga.
Yeah, I did pick them in the Super Bowl.
You definitely got to stick with it. You got them in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with the Jaguars too. I think they will hold on to it. I think that CJ, when he comes back, like you said, Shaun, he's gonna come back from concussion. You don't know how he's gonna be with that. And then also Tank Dell out for the rest of the year. That's a massive blow. That was his go-to guy. So I think the Jaguars are gonna be one and done. They should have been one and done last year, but I think they're gonna be one and done. But I do think they will hold off, man. Let's go to the Super Bowl. We're only a couple more weeks left in the season, man. We got a lot of teams out there, contenders and pretenders, which you're really seeing in December. December football separates the two. I want to talk about pretenders, though. Who out of these so-called contenders that you're just not believing in, man? I'm going to go number one for me, who I don't believe in. I just don't believe in the Miami Dolphins. I'm just not buying it. The defense is a little sus. I mean, it's gotten better. They're not the same bad defense that gave up 70 points in like week 4. But they've gotten better. But there's something about this team when they're not in the warm confines of Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. They're not as good as on the road. When sometimes just like he'd be like, oh, Tyreek and Waddle down there. I feel like when they go up against the tougher defenses, now granted, they might finish with the number 1 seed, and then the road runs through Miami, and that'll be a great opportunity for them to be able to do it, and maybe they'll shut me up. But if I had to look at all the quote unquote contenders who people I don't trust, like I said, I still want to see Lamar get it done in the playoffs, but I really like this team. I really like the plays that Lamar has been making. He was great yesterday, and that defense is great. And you're really starting to see Odell is trying to fight off not being on Family Man Records. You're seeing Zay Flowers is emerging. So I have a lot more faith in them. And that defense, Roquan Smith, and that defense is going to keep them in every game. So really all Lamar's got to do is just don't mess it up. So I have a lot more faith in them, and they're going to have home field. And we can sit up here and talk about what's wrong with the Chiefs all day. I'm giving 15 the Brady thing. I'm going down with the ship. As long as Patrick Mahomes is on that team, I'm rolling with them, and I don't think they'll pretend either. I know everybody, we're going to talk about, the Bills knocking the Cowboys out, but I'm not off the Cowboys bandwagon either. I know they've been bum slam, but that was just something that happened. The Bills have been on fire, as I predicted on this show on Friday. I said that the Cowboys was going to get beat down, and Dante and Bang laughed at me. So, but I'm still not off the Cowboys bandwagon. My frauds to me are the Miami Dolphins. I'm gonna go to Dante first. Dante, who do you think out of these contenders is the team that you don't believe in?
You just named it, the Dallas Cowboys. I know, much like the Chicago Bears, I did a 180, but I'm going back to the other side of that 180. Nah, bro, because I was talking to somebody and I was like, let me just go back and look at the schedule, see who they played. Week 1 they beat the Giants. Daniel Jones got hurt that game. Week 2, they beat the Jets. He was not in that game. Aaron Rodgers, you know who. Week 3, they beat the Cardinals without Kyler Murray. Week 4, they beat the Patriots.
Oh,
then they got smacked by the 49ers. Then they beat the Chargers. We see what the Chargers been doing. They beat the Rams, lost to the Eagles, beat the Giants again, beat the Panthers, beat the Commanders, beat Seattle, beat Philly. That was their first real, solid victory of the year. And then they just lost to Buffalo. So they are, like we've been saying for years, I tried to give them the credit this year, but no, when you look at it, the proof is on the schedule. They've been bum beaters, bum slayers, whatever you want to call it, however you want to, that's what it is. That it's the Cowboys. I can't take them serious. Looking at the teams they played, the games that they've won, no, it's the same as it's been. It is the Cowboys.
Speaking of the Eagles and the Seahawks, by the way, Jalen Hurts and Geno Smith will be playing tonight. Just got that notice. Bang, you gonna say something?
Oh no. I just saw. I was on Twitter looking at some stuff, and I saw the Hail Mary play from the first half, and how late Justin got hit.
Oh, you still looking at that?
No, that's the first time I saw it.
Oh,
This is the
you
first
didn't see
time I
it?
saw that.
Oh, okay.
No, I've been working. This is the first time I saw that. Them referees need to be ashamed of themselves. That's late as hell. But yeah, when we talking about frauds, it's the Dallas Cowboys, unfortunately. Reason why is because if they on the road, I don't trust them. But if they at home, they beating somebody's ass. And currently, where they sit right now, they're not going to be at home. That defense is a good defense on the road, but a great defense at home. Brett Prescott, he is great at the crib, not so great, somewhere else. So I think that's real easy to put the Dallas Cowboys there because they just not as good as they can be on the road, and they're probably not going to be on the road. I mean, at home.
Shaun, man, who's your pretender?
Man, you know what? 15 is never a pretender. And I agree with you there, Scott. But I'm going to go ahead and say the Kansas City Chiefs are pretenders this year. That cat Clark Hunt and Brett Veach didn't know to stop saying hit me at the blackjack table. They traded Tyreek Hill, hit me. They won the Super Bowl. They went back to the offices and said, you know what? Tell the dealer to hit us again. We're going to go out and just, come back with the same guys. And matter of fact, we're going to lose the most experienced, productive receiver that was there for us in the Super Bowl. We're going to let him walk and just bring back the other cast of characters. And we're going to see if 15 can do it again. And now they're realizing, yo, Travis ain't the same Travis. These dudes are horrible. And we had to let Orlando Brown go, so our tackles are worse. Man, maybe we should have gotten up from the table and saved ourselves because we put too much on the shoulders of 15. So for that, the team, the Kansas City Chiefs, are definitely pretenders. And by no means do I mean that to disrespect 15 and what he can do, because we'll get to see him on the road in the playoffs for the very first time, more than likely.
I want to see him, attack that challenge because all great quarterbacks got to do that, man. Let's talk about a team who we talked about a couple weeks ago saying that they could run the table, man. The San Francisco 49ers are the first team in the NFL to clinch their division ticket as they became the NFC West champions last night after blowing out the Arizona Cardinals. Chris McCaffrey was great once again. Brock Purdy is making those game manager comments by one Cameron Newton look crazy, even though like Bang said last week, we need to change the definition of game manager. But they're looking good. This is not really something I want to spend too much time on. Just a little kind of rapid fire on this, man. Is this Super Bowl? Is the Super Bowl the San Francisco 49ers to lose? Or do you think that, maybe they're just going against inferior talent right now and that the Eagles are still probably going to have something to say about it? I'm going to go to Dante.
To say it's theirs to lose is a bold statement because they didn't make it last year. So I'm not going to go that far. But I think right now they should be considered the favorites. I think when they're clicking on all cylinders, when that team is healthy, they are tough to beat. Purdy got hurt in the NFC Championship game, and we always say, especially I say it all the time. We don't do what ifs in sports. Like it's cool when that's the topic of whatever we discussing at the time. But in terms of what happened in the championship game, we don't do all that. Oh well, if he was hurt, if he did okay, Purdy wasn't there and they lost. But we saw what happened this year when they met on the field. They smacked them. They made a point of that. And I think, if they can stay healthy, this is a team that should be considered, the favorites to come out of the NFC. But I wouldn't say it's theirs to lose just because we know how the NFL goes. Next week something crazy can happen, God forbid, especially because, Christian McCaffrey is currently carrying me to about a ban and a fantasy football championship. But anything could happen in the NFL. So I think, that's a bold statement, but I think they are the favorites. They should be the favorites.
I'm gonna say this. Yeah, I won't say that there's a lose because I feel like the Eagles are definitely gonna have something to say. I think the Eagles are, they're the team that went to the Super Bowl last year. They're a very well coached team, and I still have to see Brock Purdy do it. There's one thing dominating in the regular season, which is great, but he's got to go out there and do it in the playoffs. We've seen Jalen Hurts do it in the playoffs. So, and a team that plays in cold weather like Philadelphia is not scared to go to the warm weather of San Francisco, California, even though it's not even in San Francisco. But I do think they should be the favorite. there's not a flaw on that team. I think Kyle Shanahan, aka Kendall Roy, as I always call him, he has been in his bag with the play calling. Debo is Debo. Brandon Ayuk has really been stepping up. Kittle, and Christian McCaffrey, man. If there's any running back you pay, it's that dude right there. He's been great in the defense. The defense is old school. So yes, they should be the favorite, but I think that that Philly gonna have something to say about it, man. So I really think that's gonna be something to watch out for. Shaun, what do you think about the Niners? Should they be, is it theirs to lose?
I mean, it probably is theirs to lose as it sits right now, but what has been their kryptonite? Teams that have a really good secondary and nice pressure packages. Look at the way Brock Purdy played against Cleveland. Look at the way he played against Minnesota in that Brian Flores defense. So that is the kryptonite. The only problem for the Eagles, they can apply the pressure, but that back end is suspect. Even with Byard via the trade, Sean Desai being demoted. Things are in flux, and the secondary continues to let the Eagles down. So when you look in the NFC, the only thing that really could have hurt them was maybe a combination of the defensive backs that the Dallas Cowboys had. But once they lost Trayvon Diggs, I think that kind of took away or stymied the opportunity for their defense that played very well against the 49ers on the road and allowed Dak to have an opportunity to win a game in the fourth quarter last year, and he just failed miserably. So as you look at the NFC, there's really no one equipped to be able to stymie, what the 49ers can do to you on offense. They just have way too many weapons. The only thing they're really fighting against now are injuries as they go into the rest of the season, regular season.
Dang, man. What you think about the Niners?
Hey, Super Bowl champions, unless some other shit happened. That team, it's not just the talent. They want it more. Everybody on that team is playing harder with more talent than the team that they're playing. They are hitting on all cylinders, and they're playing hard. You go watch that game. Go watch that game the other day, and you tell me when they take a play off. They don't.
They don't.
And that's the scary part about it. The scary part about the 49ers is they know how close they was winning the Super Bowl last year. They know how close they were. But they quarterback got hurt at the wrong damn time. So as long as they healthy, they there. Because simply put, they are more talented. They might have the most talented roster in the NFL. And they want it more. They remind me, going back to the 80s and shit, they remind me of the 49ers early when they know they had to deal with the Bears. And they remind me of the Bears when it's like, nah, we got to make sure we own it. They're playing tough, and they're the best talented team. That right there is a scary combination.
And Bang, I think they feel like they gave 2 Super Bowls away. I think they still feel like they gave the one away to Pat.
Yep.
Right? When Debo was a rookie, they gave that one away. So you're talking about the hunger they have. You're absolutely right. A lot of guys on their team played in both games, the NFC Championship game last year and that Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs. So you're right. They got one of the biggest chips on their shoulders with the most talent. And that's dangerous.
One thing I peeped from yesterday's game, man, it's like they get a kick out of blowing niggas out. Like it's like they were like, let's just stumble and knock them out again. Keep kicking them niggas. Like, it was like, you ever seen that video of a dude getting jumped in the park? Fight back, nigga. Fight back. Like, that's the Niners. Yeah. That's who the Niners are.
They enjoy putting their foot on your neck.
Yeah.
But that has been Kyle Shanahan's fatal flaw. Because as we've seen, when there's certain times when he needs to, I don't want to say take his foot off the gas, but just simply run the ball. And Kyle is so stuck in go mode, and that's why I love Kyle Shanahan.
That's cool because you got CMC. Yeah. That's cool. Right.
But he has to use CMC.
He has to use him
in Atlanta.
He gonna use him.
Yeah.
Oh, he gonna use him. He gonna use him. That's the difference.
I know
that white man right there.
But see, he's done it twice. He's done it.
Yeah.
He did that in the 28-3 Super Bowl, and he did it in the 2019 Super Bowl. They got away from the run, and then Jimmy Garoppolo proved why you shouldn't bring that nigga back. He missed that wide open. That's a touchdown. Ball game over. So I agree with that, man.
Scott G, we got to bring Kurt on here to tell that story. G, he has every play burned in his memory. G,
we got
he was on the sidelines on that Super Bowl, bro. So like a lot of fluke shit happened when they lost that game.
Gotta get him on.
Real quick before you move on,
yeah.
I agree with you. It's just the difference is you got CMC and you got Debo. You can't fuck that up.
If anybody can, it's Kendall Roy. That was his number one trait on Succession.
It's arrogance.
But it's arrogance. Let's go to one more. We got two more NFL topics before we move on to the NBA. The Buffalo Bills, man. I am going to take a victory lap on this because I called it last week, and I also said on the Patreon exclusive. I'm not going to hold you halftime, which drops on Wednesdays. I said this is they're a silent assassin right now. A lot of people threw dirt on Joshua Allen's name, including two of our co-hosts, one Courtney and Mikey, who are not here to defend themselves over Josh Allen. Now, granted, Josh Allen only had 94 yards passing, but he didn't have to. He sent his young homie. You know what I'm saying? James Cook had an amazing game. Dalvin Cook's little brother went crazy in that game yesterday. But this is a team. I laid out the path for them to win the AFC East. That path, that door has not been fully closed yet. But even if they don't win it, you do not want to play this team in the wild card. I'm loving everything I'm seeing from the Bills. That offense looks night and day since they got rid of their offensive coordinator and replaced him with Joe Brady. I'm gonna go to Bang first, man. What do you think out of that after that beatdown? Are you on my side with the Bills?
No.
You doubling down.
I'm doubling down. Nah, man, cause it's you talk about how people be avoiding the slander of Trevor Lawrence. I watched people on network TV get mad at other people because they was critiquing this man. This man he almost fucked up the goddamn game against the Chiefs that they end up winning. He finds the wrong time to throw interceptions, but he's a talented ass quarterback. But I just don't trust him to make the right decision at the right time. If that was the case, I would have had $10,000 a couple of years ago. So there's no reason for me to believe in this man at that point in time going deep in there because he cost me money. Now, also, they got to get into the playoffs too, because I think right now as they stand, they either are sitting outside of the playoffs or they're like the 7th seed. So, and until they're fully in that joint, it don't even matter in the first place. He'd be one of the more talented quarterbacks to not make it to the playoffs. Yeah.
They are currently tied with the Colts. Actually, they're tied with the Bengals and the Colts, and they're also tied with Houston. So it's like a 4-way tie.
Yeah, and they ain't got the tiebreaker.
They don't have the tiebreaker. Okay, I didn't know that. Shaun, man, what do you feel about the Bills? You think they're a sleeper team?
You know what? The NFL and adding that extra game, the season really gives you an opportunity as a team to be able to take on the effect of injuries early. And if you have a good coaching staff, find a way to kind of like circle the wagons and get back on track. And if you have 17 who can just make ungodly plays out of nowhere in a playoff game, then you have a shot. The one thing they did yesterday was just flat out run the same run play like 28 times where they didn't even block 11, right? They just let him just go free. You come ahead and you defend Josh Allen. And they ran the ball down the Cowboys' throat, right? Because the Cowboys want to get out in front and rush the pass. That's what they want to do. And the moment they get behind, it kind of diffuses everything they want to do defensively. And then they've been vulnerable to the run all year. And the offensive line, led by 73, that dude Dawkins and what he did to that defensive lineman, pretty much just taking him all the way from the 20 into the end zone. That offensive line was impressive against the Chiefs and pretty much won that game in the fourth quarter. And they were impressive yesterday against Dallas. And that was the biggest problem, right? When they faced the Bengals last year, they got dominated in the trenches. And the defense in that front seven has come along. They dealt with the Milano injury at linebacker, who was a leader on that defense and a captain. And like I said, the season gives you an opportunity to get some guys in there, circle the wagons, and get things back in order. And it seems like that's what they've done on both sides of the ball in the trenches. And now they're trending upward. But I still think, that whole Stephon Diggs thing and Josh Allen missing opportunities in the passing game more than likely is going to end up coming back to haunt them at a big moment in the playoffs. But I do think they make the playoffs.
Dante, do you think the Bills should be feared as like a wild card threat?
Yeah, anytime a team with that type of playoff experience, with that type of talent, that type of explosive talent, that's dangerous. That's a team you don't want to face, especially if they get rolling headed into the playoffs. And again, we keep talking about Josh Allen. Some people say he's already elite. Some people say, he's on that fringe, and this is something that can take him over the top. So I think, with them starting to really get their footing, especially offensively, this isn't a team you want to see come playoff time.
Speaking of playoff time and guys who have dominated, let's talk about Mike Tomlin, Bill Belichick, two of the best coaches of the last 20 years. A lot of people, including myself, refer to Bill Belichick as the GOAT coach, at least in the NFL. Has not been a good season for those gentlemen. The New England Patriots have not found their way ever since the GOAT Tom Brady left. They were sold a dummy brick and Mac Jones, which everybody with eyes knew was going to happen. A lot of people fell for the okie doke by him being decent in his first season. He was bad last year. Nobody has been benched and put back in the starting lineup more than Mac Jones. Zach Wilson probably comes close, but I still think Mac has him beat. And Mike Tomlin, I never thought I'd see a day where we're actually having a serious non-troll conversation about Mike Tomlin's job security. I think that the Bill Belichick thing, as we've said on this show a couple months ago, me, Bang, and Mariano was on here, said it's time for him to go be a family man. Bang said it's more about he had more of an issue with Belichick, the GM, because of how bad this roster has been. I think it's just time for him to part ways. That I don't think it's going to be a firing. I think we're going to get like a press release at the end of the season that says that we are agreeing to part ways, and he's going to become the coach somewhere else, or maybe he'll just go full front office. I don't know. He's the greatest coach of all time. He's got 8 Super Bowl championships, including his time with the Giants. He just needs to sign out. Now, the Mike Tomlin thing is difficult to me because, number one, the Steelers don't fire coaches. They've only had 3 coaches in their franchise history. I don't think I'm missing one, but as far as I know, it was Norv. What was the first one? It's Norv. What was the first Steel Curtain coach?
You talk about Chuck Noll?
Chuck Noll.
Chuck Noll.
Yeah.
Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and then Mike Tomlin. So they don't fire coaches, especially their family came up with the Rooney Rule. So I find it hard to believe they're going to get rid of an African-American coach. But this has not been his best year. They stayed afloat for a little bit, but Kenny Pickett is trash. And Kenny Pickett is worse than Mitchell Trubisky. I understand that saying AIDS is better than cancer. I get that. But if we're comparing the two, he is a better quarterback. Mason Rudolph ain't better than Mitch either. But my thing here is that Mike Tomlin should take some blame. He's had a problem for a long time hiring an offensive coordinator, and that has been something that's really bit them too. But I think that firing him, to me, is a little bit much. Should he get a warning? Yes, but I think a guy who this is his first season under 500 ever should get a slap on the wrist. I'm gonna go to Shaun first. What's your opinion on first Mike Tomlin? What's going with that, and the likelihood that both of these guys are not coaching these teams next year?
I think they both face the same issue. They're both coaches that had big-time Hall of Fame quarterbacks, and in the midst of having that guy that can kind of carry the team, you lost the identity of who you were. And once they left, the trenches were gone, at least on the offensive side of the ball. That's been the struggle for both teams for the last 3 years. The offensive lines have been absolutely horrible. And that was the bread and butter for both teams. You had Tom Brady, but you really go back and look at what the New England Patriots, they had a Hall of Fame offensive line coach for over a decade. And you go back and look the way they would bring in different running backs every year. And those running backs would have big-time games in the playoffs. It was crazy. They would have moments in the playoffs. The Steelers are known for running the football, known for having great offensive linemen. and that offensive line has disappeared after they lost Ben Roethlisberger. So, you know, the identity of both of those programs are toughness and winning in the trenches on the both sides of the ball. And on one side of the ball, they haven't been able to do that. And they've tried to cover it up by drafting high Kenny Pickett and Mac Jones. And once you choose wrong and you don't have the trenches to support, that's a wrap, man. And I don't see either one of them. I think both of these guys need to get out of there. I really do, because I don't see either one of them being able to turn things around, whether it's New England or Pittsburgh, because Pittsburgh is not just going to step away from Kenny Pickett. And then you got the next Antonio Brown and George Pickens in the locker room. So at this point, Mike Tomlin, you know, he's already shown that he has like a D'Amico Ryans effect. So he has the best chance of staying and turning it around. But my hope is that both of those guys can go elsewhere. And really, I don't even see the need for Bill Belichick to go elsewhere. You're a Hall of Fame defensive coordinator, man. Multiple Super Bowls as a defensive coordinator and the 7 as a head coach. Like, what do you have to prove, man? All that Tom Brady stuff doesn't mean anything. You're a Hall of Famer, arguably the best head coach in all of NFL history. Man, just walk out and go enjoy your boat, sailing, fishing, and all of that stuff up in Hyannisport, man.
And enjoy your hoes, Bill Belichick. I've seen the videos, my guy. I've seen it. Bill ain't low. You seen him outside with no shirt on. Bill out here in these streets, and he was on College Game Day. He was actually pretty good on College Game Day with Pat McAfee. There might be a career in broadcasting. Or like you said, Shaun, he got 8 rings. Man, he got money. He did everything he needed to do. Go ahead and chill. Dante, what you think about these the conundrum that we find these two legendary coaches in?
It's not a conundrum. It's over. Like, you know, it's really that simple. And I'm not even trying to be disrespectful when I say that. It's much like the Brady, the Peyton, the Breeze. Like, we watched their entire era. We watched the rise. We watched the apex. We watched the fall. It's over. It's over with for them. There's nothing wrong with that. I think Tomlin more so than Belichick should continue on. I think if you build, I know you want to catch, you know, the most wins of all time. That's probably not going to happen. That's not going to happen. But bow out gracefully. I mean, I think, you know, all of the Brady talk, I think a lot of the conversations we have now are gassed up so much by social media in the moment that 5 or 10 years from now, we're not going to be sitting here trying to shit on Bill Belichick's legacy because Tom Brady left. We're going to be talking about one of the greatest coaches to ever pick up a clipboard, and especially with, you know, the way the game has evolved throughout his time in it, and he's still been able to dominate. So, you know, it wasn't bad to the end. So I think with both of them, it's not really, you know, a conundrum. It's not anything to really think about. It's over. And, you know, it may be tough for us, especially because, you know, being 35, me and Scott, you know, we kind of get into that age where now everybody from our childhood is either retiring or they washed. Or, like, the shit is crazy. So, you know, what it is. It's just, you know, the sports life.
Bang, you've been on the Bill Belichick needs to walk away train for a couple months. How do you feel right now?
No, I'm not on he needs to walk away. I think he needs a GM. I think he needs another person that's going to take care of player personnel. The reason why this team suck is not because of coaching. The reason why they suck because they ain't got no players. Like, name a good player on this team. Name a player on this team that you'd be like, you know what? I wouldn't mind them on my team. You ain't got them, all right? And part of the reason is because the arrogance of coaching. Like, yo, you could bring a broom up in and I could coach him up and there'd be a Pro Bowl guard. Like, some of it is that, but also it's really just bad personnel moves. So being that it's bad personnel moves, I think if Bill Belichick can say, look, I will agree to allowing somebody make the personnel moves, they'd be okay. You get the right person. Like, matter of fact, random, just thinking of a random, where's Scott Pioli at? You know what I'm saying? Is he still kicked in on like yes or whatever? Where's Thomas Dimitrioff at? Both of them was with the organization. It has to be somebody that, you know, that Bill know. You can't go grab some young ass dude, you know what I'm saying, and think Bill gonna come in and respect him. That's like if we working at, like, matter of fact, I'll go from experience. It's like me working at Best Buy and they make me the supervisor, but it's this this old ass dude named Gary that's been there for 20 years. Like, yo, you ain't about to tell me what to
I
do.
imagine you put his real name out there. Shout out to Gary.
Shouts out to my nigga Gary, man. He was this old white man that I used to work with at Best Buy North Riverside. He might not be around no more, but if he is, shouts out to Gary. But with that being said, man, that's the situation that you in. You bring in an experienced personnel person that knows Bill and can work with Bill and help upgrade this roster, and they go get another quarterback. Oh, believe me, fam, he's like 16 wins away. What, did he get that in New England or what? The Chargers?
You might as well stick with the Commanders. You've been on the Commanders way.
Yeah, or the Commanders, because I still think it's gonna be a trade. He's gonna get traded to the Commanders. But either way it go, I think no matter where he go, he ain't gonna get full autonomy. Yo, we got this GM that's gonna get the groceries, but y'all collaborate together. That's good. And I think if they do that in New England, I think they'd be straight. They just have no talent. They shouldn't have won the games that they won. The Patriots should not have won a game this year with the talent that they got.
That's true. I agree with that. Let's move on to the association, man. This next topic is low-key a Summer Sessions topic, but I kind of want to talk about it on here. Mr. Anthony Edwards, send the video. Send the video. That was some of the most hilarious screenshots I've ever seen in my life. He put out a press release today, which is a rookie move. There was no point to put out a press release. There was no proof that was actually you. You could have just denied. Nobody actually knows that's Anthony Edwards. There was no pictures of you. There was none of your information out on there. Not saying that she didn't have it, but at least in there, unless he knew that she was going to drop something, maybe he was just like, let me just get in front of this now. This is the funny thing to me, and this has nothing to do with basketball, even though we had him a pretty big week. Anthony Edwards is slowly emerging, not slowly, but quickly emerging as one of the youngest stars in the NBA. He's got the Minnesota Timberwolves, the number one seed in the Western Conference. Granted, it's still early. As Bang says, nothing in the NBA matters before Christmas, but I can't remember the last time that the Timberwolves were number one seed, maybe 2004, the year KG won MVP. You got that. He got his new Adidas shoe that dropped this weekend, and now you got him maybe impregnating what's that new thing they got? Not the digital thing. The word is escaping me. It's something everybody hates.
Artificial intelligence.
Yeah, AI. The AI. Yeah, the AI. It looks like she's like an AI model. But my whole thing is this: everybody's wondering, I don't understand why he's doing it. He's a 22-year-old nigga from Atlanta, Georgia, with $200 million. Do you really need any more explanation for why he's doing what he's doing? It's just really that simple. Like, he's not like my age or, our age period, where we might be a little smarter than that when it comes to that and the amount of money that he's getting. He's 22. He's going to do dumb stuff. And that's just really all it is to it. Outside of the actual Twitter jokes, I really don't know why this is that big of a story. I'm going to go to Bang about this because, he's our media guru here. If you have any takes on this, on what you think about this whole situation.
I think it's a terrible situation. Also, look, I miss the days, and this might sound bad, but man, I miss the days when you cheated and nobody knew you was cheating. I miss those days. I miss, like, Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan had hella hoes, and you saw it on the National Enquirer, and that's it. Like, Michael Jordan sleeps with Jenna Jameson. She says he's not circumcised. Like, you find out your favorite player was cheating when you walk through the line at your local grocer. That's it. Also, these basketball players don't make it no better because they're having relations with women that you can tell that and I ain't even talking about the women here, the men, you can tell if they slip up and they mess up, they ain't gonna know how to act. They ain't know how to act. So if you're not gonna know how to act in this situation, if it happens, then don't do it. Y'all, they be DMing these shorties and thinking like, yo, I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z, and if I mess up, I got the money to do it. And then when it happens, you like, whoa, I don't need no heirs right now. Now all of a sudden, here's $100,000. Go ahead. That means you really don't want nothing that got your last name other than your mama. So, and yeah, it's very immature. Also, as a father, it's very immature and very disappointing to see him do that. At the same time, he's acting like these Instagram models are doing. He trying to keep his buck and he trying to do whatever he can, but he want to go raw. And she, quote unquote, is trying to get the money by having the air. These NBA players, especially, man, they got to do a little bit better when it comes to the selection of what they are messing around with. And if things go left, how you react to it. Because that's bad, seeing those texts and the show me the video and all. That's bad. I'm not gonna name any names, but that's bad.
All right, Shaun, we know you're a man of God, but do you have any comments on this particular situation?
Yo, Bang knows, man. We used to have these conversations all the time. You know what amazes me about athletes?
Mm-hmm.
That they have no problem sleeping with the same chicks. Guys that can get any beautiful woman in the world, probably, and they will go around and sleep with the ex-girl of the next dude on the next team. And they just share, and it becomes this one big circle. Now, when you get in this one big circle, you feel like you're protected. But unfortunately, with situations like this, you see, nah, you slip up, you have to pay for the consequences. And right now, Anthony Edwards, like you said, Atlanta, Georgia, 23 years old. We all have been there, man, where you live life a little riotously. You don't even think about consequences sometimes. And some of us, man, we're blessed enough to bypass, I don't want to make it seem like it's tragic because it's a life. If does come to be true and it's a blessing. But young man, consequences, man, for every action. And when you go ahead and, like you said, shoot up the club, you have to be willing to deal with what's on the back end.
Dante, man, what's your take on this? As an Atlanta resident, I know you see a lot of this walking around.
I just want to say that was very, very eloquently put by the two older gentlemen here. I have no sympathy for these niggas. Like, at this point, I don't know how many documentaries got to come out about these motherfuckers losing their money over, having multiple baby mamas. But if this is what you want to do, is what you want to do. I agree. He's young. He's a young millionaire. But I think another thing we also talk about all the time is we just have too much access to people's personal lives. Like, why do I know this information? Why are these messages being released to the public? For what? Other than to, make him look bad so he feel guilty and give you more money. But like, this shit is silly. And so at the end of the day, Bang, Shaun, y'all both, very well said, and I agree. But at the end of the day, these athletes have been doing this and they're gonna keep doing it. Because when people get a large lump sum of money at a very young age, when you're not mature enough to really, understand what to do with it, even though I ain't gonna lie to you, you give me 200 million at 35 years old, I'm gonna do some dumb shit too. Like, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna tell you right now, write it down. But at the same time, it kind of is what it is at this point. Like, everybody has these advisors. You've seen the ups and the downs. You've seen the Andre Risings. You feel me? So as much as we've seen that, I can't sit here and keep saying, "Oh man, you a young athlete." Nah, bro, you know what's going on. And now with the NIL, it's only getting younger and younger. That's why I would really, love the fact when CJ Stroud said, "No," I told them, don't just give me a lump sum of money. Split it up. Give it to me on a monthly basis. Just make sure I got some money in my pocket so I'm good. So you got some that get it, but then you got some. You always gonna have some that just, they got to put their hand on the stove.
I'm gonna say something real quick. We're gonna move on. Very simple. Put a rubber on, nigga. Anyway, next topic. Draymond Green. We go from I won't say unhinged, but kind of one unhinged nigga to another. Draymond Green, the official thing is coming out. He is going to be getting counseling. So he will be going to counseling. I'm pretty sure this is a Warriors NBA move because of what happened when he hit Jurkic Nusev last Tuesday, I think it was, and he will be suspended at least for the next 3 weeks. We're up on it Friday trying to figure out what the punishment was going to be, and I said they need to, put their foot down and give him something that actually will mean something, because obviously the little 5-game thing didn't mean anything. Him getting suspended in the middle of the NBA finals didn't mean anything. This year, I do think it's something that's needed. All jokes aside, I think when you have as many situations as he has, he needs to at least talk to somebody. Now, I'm not in the group of people who think everybody needs therapy, but I do think everybody can benefit from it. So I have no problem with this happening. And I think, if anything, this is something for him to kind of take a time out and kind of reevaluate everything. We had Kevin Durant, who was his teammate for 3 seasons, won 2 NBA championships with Draymond. This is a guy who called him out of his name. And even he's like, yeah, Draymond do a lot of wild stuff, but he used to not wild like this. So obviously, this is needed for him. I just hope Draymond gets the help that he needs to get. I know we're talking about like he a drug addict or something, but this has all obviously been a problem. And if anything, if a 3-week suspension doesn't hit into your head that this is something you shouldn't be doing, I don't know what's gonna be it, man. Dante, what you think about everything with this new Draymond news?
I just hope it's real. You remember, the Ja Morant weekend off.
Oh yeah,
and how that went. So hopefully he takes these 3 weeks serious. Like you said, the whole counseling is subjective. We don't know how intensive this is, but at the same time, this is something we've seen consistently from Draymond. So, just for his sake, because at the end of the day, we want to see bro on the court. Like, he gets away with murder, we all know that, but at the same time, we don't want to see him, just consistently getting into this type of trouble. So hopefully he takes the 3 weeks serious, and I think if after these weeks, I'm sure it's gonna be like a parole hearing. He's gonna have to go talk to Adam Silver, let him know what he learned. And then, if Adam Silver is happy with it, he's going to let him come back in. So we'll see after these 3 weeks. I don't think it'll go too much longer than these 3 weeks, but, man, I just hope he take it serious.
Shaun, what you think about everything with Draymond?
Yo, hey, Scott, is he a Scorpio, bro?
I have no
idea. He's just a butthole, man. He's just, like you said earlier, it doesn't matter about astrological signs. He's just a butthole. And so when you think about that, Jennifer Melfi couldn't help this dude. For all you soprano.
I like that reference.
That dude. He might be worse than Tony in therapy. I'm gonna pray for the therapist, because I'm sure he's gonna be shooting back, disagreeing, speaking his mind. So I don't think anything's gonna hold, man. He thinks he is who he is. He thinks nothing wrong with who he is, and that's the way he's been treated. You go back to when he was in Michigan State. He had multiple fights where he knocked out students, knocked out visitors to campus, and everybody just brushed it to the side, let him off, and let him do his thing. And that's the same way he's been treated at Golden State for a long time, because they were winning. So when you create a monster, you have to be able to live with the fact that he's going to knock some buildings down when he's running through the downtown area. It is what it is. So give him 3 weeks. When he comes back, it won't be long. It won't be long. He's going to do something crazy again. And the next step, what's the next step? Kicking him out for a year? Trading him from the Warriors?
That's a good question. Bang, do you think it's a lost cause for Draymond?
No, I don't think it's a lost cause. It's somebody that's currently in therapy right now. I don't think it's a lost cause. I still stand on, I believe that it's something outside of basketball.
Trying to find soft, Bang?
Nah, man.
You trying to find a softer side, bro?
Hey, remember, hey, Dante, where's the sign? Black mental health matters.
Black mental health matters. All right.
We no longer have the sign, but it matters. Bang
knows I'm messing with him.
No, that's a running joke that we have, because they said we're insensitive on this show.
Yeah, they said we was insensitive. Matter of fact, they said we was insensitive to Caleb Williams.
Yeah, because he want to do the Lambo leap in his mama's arms, but we're not gonna do that again. Go ahead.
But nah, man, I still stand on that. It's something outside of basketball that's creeping into basketball that got Draymond acting the way he act, because it's definitely been on overdrive the past like season and a half. And I won't speculate to what that could be, but it just feels like that dude is just more OC than he used to be. And I think that part of that is just stuff that's going on. Like, even with the LeBron thing in the finals and everything, you know, he cooled off after that and then just going back up. So I think that the counseling will help, man. I think it might help put some things in perspective. The best way I could put it is, and it's hilarious that I'm using this shit as a reference, especially with four brothers on this program right now. But is Major League. Major League is one of my favorite sports movies of all time.
Great sports movie.
It's an amazing sports movie. And Charlie Sheen's character was a little off.
Charlie
But
Sheen is a little off.
yeah, he's a little off. But when he got it together, you know what I'm saying, they made it to the ALCS. You know what I'm saying? They ain't win the World Series as you saw in part 2, and then they replaced Wesley Snipes with Omar Epps and all of that shit. But I just think when it comes to sports, a little therapy can help get you back in line to the goals of your team. You know, and even though I think it's some shit that's going on outside of it that folks ain't talking about, because they've been extra sensitive about the sensitivity about Draymond. Like even with Kevin Durant, he wasn't like this when I was around. Just tells me everything that I need to know. Man, that brother hope he get the help he needs. Tells me everything I need to know. This is not hyperbole ass shit. It's something that's going on that's starting to creep in. That being said, counseling is going to help because I think it's going to help him get in line with his teammates and make him better. I don't think they're going to win a title, but I do think it's going to make him a bit better as the season goes on. And he still might kick somebody in the nuts, but that's because he's OC. Not because
right.
He's tweaking. See,
not
there's OC.
Right, not because he's a bad guy. Yeah.
Right, there's OC and there's a tweak. And right now he's a tweak. He needs to get back to OC status.
Yeah. I think I have a conspiracy theory for what's going on, but we will still save that for off air. Bang, we'll talk about that before summer sessions. I definitely can't say that on there. But anyway.
I can't we might have the same joint.
I think I got an idea what it might be. This next question is very simple. We shouldn't be spending much time with this because obviously these niggas don't spend much time in trying to win ball games. Quite frankly, are the Detroit Pistons the worst team to ever pick up basketball? Like I've been saying for a minute that relegation needs to come to American sports. If there's any more proof than that, look no further than 8 Mile Road, where the Detroit Pistons, that they have lost what like 20 games in a row. And they started off like 2-1 or something like that, and it has just been terrible, man. I don't know if they're the worst team in basketball history because there's a lot of bad teams, and as Bulls fans we've seen, but as much bad basketball I've seen in the Bulls, I've never seen that. And Monty Williams, y'all better be happy that deposit didn't already hit, because that is an abomination. Shaun, we ain't got to spend that much time on this. What you think about the Pistons?
Man, I really have to dig in on this because it was some horrible Clippers teams, some horrible Bulls teams back in the day.
Just after Gary Grant.
The Sixers, I think, won like 17 games in a year, something like that.
The Denver Nuggets was like 9-73.
Yeah. So, they are trending to possibly being one of those teams and going down as history as such. But, yeah, the NBA has had its share of really bad teams.
Dante, what you think about them niggas, man? I just put something ridiculous in the group chat. Go ahead. You want me to go to Bang?
Yeah. No.
Go ahead.
I'll be real quick. I'm gonna be real quick. It's just a collection of young talent, man. It takes time. It's gonna take a lot of time. I think that's kind of why you saw Monty Williams get the deal. Now, I think when you lock a coach in for that many years, you don't want to end up like these other teams that are playing multiple coaches to be at home. So I think at some point you are going to have that, semi come to Jesus moment where you figure out, all right, what are we doing? It's just a road we want to continue to go down. Do we want to flip Cunningham, try to get some pieces? What do we want to do? But he's got a lot of young talent. You tried to get some free agents in there. It hasn't really worked. So, yeah, I think that's really what it is with Detroit.
What you think about the niggas who play at Little Caesars Arena? Bang. That's
so much promise. Remember at the beginning of the season, even before, they got Monty Williams. It was like, oh, they set up the win. You got Cade Cunningham was like killing the U.S. team and shit in practice. They was talking about, and Paul's length. They got all the length in the front court, and you got Ivy that's up in there and all that shit, and they jagged it. I don't think they the worst team ever because there's some pretty talented names on there. I just think, and Monty then went through a lot of shit in his life. He don't need to be dealing with that shit that's going on in Detroit because he was the wrong coach to hire in the first place. They need to email you. They need to email you Udoka, or they needed a younger coach to identify with them. Like, look at the Oklahoma City Thunder. We didn't even know the nigga they hired. They hired some nigga.
I still don't know their coach now. You
still don't know this nigga.
I can't. And they're the number 2 seed in the West.
Right. I still don't know. It's like Granada or some shit. I don't know this nigga name, but they hired some random ass white dude to coach them. And he identifies with the goddamn team. You got all of these young folks, and you hired this old nigga. They don't identify with Monty. That's why, and they paid them all that goddamn money too. That's where they messed up. They got talent. They got the wrong coach. They can't get rid of that buddy because that buddy making bank. So they got to go get some vets. Go get go get Levine if y'all want.
Yeah. The Zach I really love in Detroit. Yeah, they'll have a good old time. He can get all the points out over there. Let's go on to a guy we just talked about, kind of connection with Draymond, Mr. Kevin Durant, who, as Bang infamously called him, the Brutus Beefcake of the NBA.
Brutus the Barber Beefcake for the NBA, man.
The NBA.
They only care about Brutus the Barber Beefcake when he over there with Hogan. It's fake love.
It's fake love.
I stand on that.
KD is always in his feelings about something, and there's no problem because, like you said, black mental health matters.
He didn't see our video, did
he? He ain't comment, so I guess he hasn't. Because KD will comment if he see it. KD ain't. KD did get tagged. He ain't say nothing, but anyway, KD and the Suns lost to the New York Knicks last Friday. Jalen Brunson put 51 points up in a victory. That was the first and last game with the Suns' big three as Bradley Beal injured himself. I think it was the next night, and he's going to be out for the next couple of weeks with a high ankle sprain. But KD said some interesting things that had my spidey senses tingling. He was going up there at the press conference. He looked real irritated, and he was saying so like how Brent Grimes getting wide open threes, like that nigga don't even move his feet, and it's like he found like he was real frustrated that he's not getting enough shots and that the ball isn't getting through to him. To me, what I took it as, he's a little unhappy because he's realizing, as great as he still is, and KD is still a great, that it's not a hot take to say that Devin Booker is playing better basketball than him right now. We all know defensively, KD is cooked. And I feel like they've been putting the offense through Devin Booker. And that is something that I don't know if it was a big problem, but I feel like it's becoming a problem from the comments he said. Dante, do you think I'm making too much of KD, or is it just KD being irritated after the loss?
It's just frustration after a loss. I mean, KD, one thing I appreciate about KD, I know a lot of people knock him for it, is that he's really honest, especially with his basketball opinion, just on the game itself. So if his team is not playing well, he's not going to, hold anything back. He's going to just say what it is. I know that's, funny considering everything with the burners and all that shit, but I think he's really leaned in. And so, like, a lot of times if you go just check his timeline and you see a lot of the basketball talk KD has with people, yeah, he crack a lot of jokes, but a lot of times he's asking real basketball questions. So I think he's just really upfront with his basketball opinion. So it's not anything to really be worried about. At the end of the day, he asked to be traded there. Granted, things, haven't been going the way he planned it. That's pretty much been the story of his career since he left Golden State. So, but I think it's nothing to really read into right now.
Shaun, do you think that KD is upset, or I'm just being messy?
I think he's in a place of being retrospective. I think he's similar to what Draymond Green might be going through, that kind of what Bang was alluding to. And you can throw Klay Thompson into that, right? It's almost like, I don't know if you guys play golf, but if you do, it's like having a great front nine and then losing your round somewhere on the back nine and just standing in the middle of the
You
fairway.
taking the Tiger Hoods over here, Dante. He definitely know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Dante, you know what I'm talking
yeah.
about. You have a great first nine, and then all of a sudden it just unravels on the back nine, and you're standing there on the fairway in 17, like, dude, what the hell happened?
But I'll give you one better real quick. You on green in regulation, and that 3-putt bogey,
3-4 putt. Yeah,
man,
absolutely. And I think all three of them like have seen their better days, and they're just sitting back. And I think that's where some of the angst and some of the frustration is coming from, because they know, yo, this is coming to an end, and things are not the same. What am I gonna do in a few years? Am I gonna go into media? What's the next step? And I think very retrospective is the place where KD is. And I think that's where you're getting some of the frustration, because he's realizing, like you said, Scott, I ain't him no more. Yeah. And that's a hard pill. That's a really hard pill to swallow for someone that spent the majority of their life being him.
Said Dante sat up when he heard that golf talk. Yeah, that nigga activated like the Winter Soldier. Bang, man, what you think about Brutus the Barber Beefcake? Is he actually upset?
I think he is a little bit, because he know that time is running out, and this is probably going to be the best chance that he has to win the ship in quite some time. When you got Bradley Beal with first, man, is Bradley Beal in St. Louis? Is he in U City? Or is he in Phoenix? Like, somebody tell me, is Bradley Beal in U City or is he in Phoenix?
Well, my man, shout out my man Nick. My man Nick is a DC sports fan. He from DC. He said, "Yeah, Suns fans are seeing what I had to go through all them years."
Yeah, I saw it too. Like, that's the thing. I saw it too, so I understand. But in this case, I'm like, yo, that man stepped on the court and then was like, yo, something else hurt. I'll talk to y'all later. He's in U City with, like, he's at Marquee right now, having the time of his life, while KG is out there. KGC.
Is Bradley Beal actually Nelly cousin?
No, I don't think he Nelly cousin, but Nelly looked after him when he was younger.
Yeah, cause I heard
same like he did with Jason Tatum.
Yeah, that was like Nelly Bradley Beal and Jason Tatum in school.
Yeah, that's why I said U City. All the marks from
welcome to Nellyville. Yo, I didn't know the city was out of jail.
I did not know either.
And shout out Pappy. Pappy's like, nigga, it's been 20 years. I'm like, it has
been. We've said on the joint, like, I ain't realizing myself.
It has been, dog.
I think that he see that time running out. He said he see the team ain't moving like he want to. Quite honestly, man, they hired the wrong coach too. Like, you went and got Frank fucking Vogel. Come on, man. I don't want to hear shit about that. He's a world champion.
World champion Frank Vogel.
Right. I don't want to hear none of that goddamn shit.
Mickey Mouse champion Frank Vogel.
Right. For a couple of reasons, my nigga. But he see it, man. He sees it. And it's like, man, I left OKC. I left there to go to Golden State. I was winning there. I leave Golden State to go to Brooklyn. It ain't working Brooklyn. Now I'm over here in Phoenix, and it don't look like it's working either. And then you see Denver out there. You see some of these other shit. You see the fucking, matter of fact, we was talking about Ant. You see the goddamn Minnesota Timberwolves is the number 1 seed, and the Oklahoma City Thunder the number 2 seed. And it's like, man, what the fuck is going on here? We got Quentin Grimes killing our ass. That's Hooper talk, fam. He's not.
I definitely said Brent Grimes. I meant Quentin Grimes.
You did. So it's like, it's definite Hooper talk coming from the ultimate Hooper, who's going to talk about basketball in the way that he talks about basketball. But I also believe that within that, he see his basketball mortality closing in, and he's getting frustrated that he's not dominating in the way that he thought they would dominate when you put Devin Booker and Bradley Beal together. He thought, oh, I just got my Golden State shit back. He realizing he ain't got Steve Kerr coaching him. He ain't got Steph Curry shooting threes. He ain't got Draymond being OC. And he ain't got Klay Thompson not dribbling but shooting threes to help him out. He got Devin Booker.
Did you know? Did anybody know that Devin Booker was Mexican and from Detroit before this year? Like, he's really like not even. Yeah, this nigga is diving head in. He's driving, he pulling up in low riders.
Oh,
He
I
didn't roar.
thought you was about to say, yo, I was about to text BC like, yo, he Mexican?
Those niggas like half Mexican. Like, I'm not even joking. He like half his mama Mexican or something. Like, I'm not even joking. Google
Oh,
it.
he is.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know his mama named Veronica Gutierrez, and she a cosmopologist.
exactly.
Oh my God.
Exactly. You didn't know that to
Oh,
this shit. Now
I
he
did
pulling up.
not know
He
that
pulling
shit. He's
up
a
in
cholo.
the Eddie Guerrero lowrider. He wearing Detroit Tigers hats. I seen him at the Lions game. I was like, yo, am I missing something? So he's doubling all the way down. I don't know what they
While
doing.
playing for the Grand Rapids Mackers in the
Yeah,
1995-96
yeah,
CBA season, he met
bro.
Veronica.
I
And they
seen
had
a
a
picture.
son.
It was the Lions mascot. It was Isaiah Thomas. It was Jalen Rose. It was Calvin Johnson. It was Devin Booker. I was like, what is wrong with this picture? Something here stands out like a sore thumb, and it's him. I didn't get that. I didn't get that. But last
Wow.
NBA topic, and then we're gonna
Do nails.
go through the
mama do
Christmas games
nails.
after this, and then we're gonna wrap up. With all the bad things happening in Chicago sports this year, especially with the team that plays in the alleged madhouse of Madison. I say alleged because it hasn't been a madhouse for a long time. Kobe White, a rose grew from the concrete in the rose in the name of that Tupac book. And he has been hooping. I thought last year was a contract year. No, Kobe has been that guy. They lost to Miami this weekend because they were like, DeMar was like, enough of this. I need to dribble the ball for 22 seconds and then turn it over. Vooch was like, I ain't touched the ball in 8 minutes. Let me throw up an ill-advised hook shot so we can let Jimmy Butler walk us off. But Kobe's been great. I'm not going to say Pat has been great. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to have Dante give me the evil look from all the way in Atlanta, Georgia. But he's played better. I know the bar is in hell. He had 25 points on Saturday. I'm gonna go with Shaun first, man. What do you think about Kobe's emergence and what this means for the future of the Bulls and how AK can either rebuild or reshuffle this roster?
You know what, man? It's really crazy how things have played out. You talk about Lonzo's injury opening the door to his further development, and then you talk about what's happened with Zach LaVine and kind of opening the door. But I love the trio that I was able to watch, and it seems like they believe in each other. The trio of Kobe White, and then you talk about Patrick Williams and Ayo Dosunmu. Like they were encouraging each other like crazy in both games this weekend. And to see all three of those kids pretty much try to eclipse 20 points in back-to-back games with Kobe leading the way. The second game was more impressive to me in Miami because he struggled for 3 quarters or
Yep,
2.5 quarters, and then he just took over. And I'm like, yo, okay, we might have one. That's how you start building a winner. You have a dude that you can, no matter what day of the week, when you walk into a stadium on the road, he's going to show up at some point. You can't hold him down. And if that's the player that's developing, look, the sky could be the limit, but still AK has to find a way to build around this young man. But I am pleasantly surprised. And I have to give credit to Brian Crawford because a phone call that he had with Kobe White's brother when Kobe White's brother confronted him about comments he made about Kobe. Ever since then, Kobe has turned it on and changed
and
as a
you know
player.
BC ain't gonna but BC gonna stand on it. You know what I'm saying? BC gonna stand on what he say. Bang, do you think the Bulls have found something with Kobe?
Yeah, I always was a fan of Kobe White. When they drafted him, I was like, oh, they finally got it right with the 7th pick. I always been a fan. I was a little bit surprised that it started off a bit slow, but I totally understood. So now he's shining. I thought at least he had a chance to be like a six man of the year a couple of times, but it was just getting there. Sometimes it takes time with other players. It looked like it did that with Kobe. So I'm excited to see what these Bulls do when they make these trades because it gives you that what the baby Bulls kind of gave you, except they was Huff. It gave you that matter of fact, not baby Bulls.
Except they was
I ain't talking about going too far to the Eddie Curry Tyson challenge. I'm talking about like Kurt Heinrich and and Ben Gordon, like when they got Miami.
Oh
up
yeah,
out of here.
when they beat Miami, yeah.
It reminds me of that, and sometimes those are the teams that are more fun than seeing some of these these teams with all of these stars on it. So I'm excited about that.
Dante, I know you not trying to give any joy to any teams owned by Jerry Reinsdorf, but what you think about Kobe White?
God bless Kobe White and his family, but I have nothing positive to say about the Chicago Bulls as a whole. That brother's put in the work though. Like we on some real shit. We talked about it when they hired Mo Cheeks. Like we wonder how that would help his development and everything. But Kobe's doing this thing, man. It's funny they started playing well when Zach LaVine sat down. But I mean that's the Bulls. So that's all I got. That's all I can give. That's all. That's it.
He said that's enough love from Jerry Reinsdorf own teams. Last topic of this episode. I know we're going a little longer than usual, but it's the last episode of 2023. So it's all that. We still got I'm not gonna hold you overtime on the other side. Me, Bang, and Dante will go fully into this Bears ridiculous loss. But we will not be on the air Friday. The holiday special will be, but we will not be on the air Friday, so we're not going to have any time to preview these games. So I want to talk about the amazing Christmas schedule a week from now when you're sitting there with your family, yelling about sports. Probably it's going to sound like First Take. If your family is anything like mine, you'll be yelling at the in the house about sports, watching the NFL and the NBA. And we've got an amazing slate of games. I'm just going to go around the table. I'm going to name the game. We give our predictions and any thoughts that we think about this game. We're going to start with the NBA games first. We've got, of course, the Knicks. Always get the first game, the matinee game at the legendary Madison Square Garden. And you will have Giannis Antetokounmpo and Damian Lillard going to the Garden to face off against Jalen Brunson and the New York Knicks. I think, usually, New York is also the best city on planet Earth, which I love New York, by the way. So I kind of don't have a problem with that statement. But this is going to be a fun game to me. This is a team that, two teams in this Eastern Conference race. And I also think it's going to be a good game because the Bucks haven't 100% figured it out yet. But I can see the Knicks winning this one. But I'm gonna go with the Bucks in this one. But I think this is gonna set this big slate of games off on the right foot. I think this one's gonna be very entertaining. Bang, what you think about this matchup?
I don't care.
It's Christmas.
Football.
You don't care about not even on NBA.
No.
I think the NBA matters on Christmas.
It does with football going on at that time. So
all right.
I just hope, but with that one, I just hope it's a good game. I don't really got no pick for that one because, I think especially some of these teams are not playing as what we thought they should go. That's why that's where. So come back to me. I might have something.
Okay.
Shaun, but right now I don't care because football.
Shaun, what you think about this matchup?
It's Christmas Day. It's the Garden. So the stars are going to step up. Giannis is used to hurdling people at the Garden, doing all types of crazy stuff. So I expect Giannis to have a big game. And Dame, this would be his first big-time game on Christmas.
Yeah.
This is Dame's first big-time game on Christmas. I think he's going to come through with a big game.
Niggas wasn't going to Portland on Christmas.
Right.
At all. So I think, the Bucks, they'll come away with this.
Them niggas ain't been to Portland since 2001.
And they ain't going to be there anytime. They're going to be 2031 for next time we see a TNT logo in Portland. Dante, man, do you have any thoughts on this matchup? You on mute, dog.
No, I'm going to go with the Bucks.
We're going to start having show fines.
He's gonna flash the fire like James Brown.
Yeah.
But no, I'm gonna go with the Bucks in this one, bro. I think Dame has a big game in his first game on Christmas. I think I know everybody has their Garden game, and I think Dame has already had one, but I think this will be his first one in prime time. So he's going for at least a 40-piece.
Okay, I got a question.
Garden game.
That's the first game, right? That's the first game of the day. All right, so here we go. This is what makes me care because it's also the Knicks, and I don't give a damn about the Knicks. So, will Dame score more points than the Raiders and the Chiefs?
Whoo! I like that question.
There we go.
That's a good question. Raiders and Chiefs.
I just said 40. So.
That's a good. I wish Mike used this so you could tell us what the spread is looking like early. You know what? I'm gonna say no, and the reason I would say no because Giannis been real disrespectful lately. Giannis been real. This nigga brought his kids out on the bench when they were beating Detroit by like 40. He had to chase niggas down for that ball when he dropped 60 some on the Pacers. So I don't feel Dame's gonna have as many possessions to score more than them. I love that question. I love that question. What do y'all think? I'm gonna go to Shaun first. What do you think? Who scores more, Chiefs, Raiders, or Dame?
I think that'll be close, right? That'll be close.
Yeah.
It'll come down to the end because I think right now, what the ceiling for the Chiefs is right around 21 to 24 points.
24. They tap out at like 21. I feel like
Right,
sometimes.
21, 24, and their defense is good enough to hold the Raiders. I know the Raiders just had an explosion on Monday Night
Yeah, but they
Football,
also scored nothing. They scored nothing against
against the Vikings.
Minnesota. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Chiefs have a very good defense. So I can see the Chiefs holding them to single digits. So that puts it around 31 points.
Yeah.
That's
That's
gonna be close. That's a good call. That's a good prop bet,
great
man.
question, man. Yeah.
That's a good prop bet.
What you think?
Damn. I just told you he's scoring 40. Damn.
I really like that question. I wish Mike used to answer that. This next game, man, I think it's a sleep fest. I understood what Adam Silver and the schedule makers were doing when they made this because they thought that the Warriors would be better than they were. When Draymond is in counseling, Klay Thompson has been kidnapped. We don't know where he's at, and it's just gonna be Steph Curry going 1-on-5. I think the defending NBA champions make light work of the Golden State Warriors in this one. I will be drinking mimosas and doing some other things if there's not already NFL game one at this time. Do any of y'all have any thoughts on this, or do you want me to move on?
Next.
Now, this next one, I have a take about this. We actually talk about this on I'm not gonna hold you holiday special rivalries in sports. The NBA is doing their best to make us care about Lakers and Celtics again. And I'm gonna be real with you. I just don't. I just don't care because these teams don't hate each other. Like we know that LeBron is a big Tatum. I think Tatum said that outside of Kobe, obviously Kobe was his favorite player. He reminds us that every postseason that LeBron was second for him. So there's love there, and there's no hate between these two teams. We don't even have a Marcus Smart there anymore to really start stuff up between these two teams. And even the fan bases, unless you're an old school Laker fan or old school Celtic fan, like a lot of these fan bases I see on Twitter were probably like 8 when Kobe beat the Celtics in 2010. So I get what they're saying. I think this is going to be a competitive game. That I think the Celtics gonna win by double digits, but this can be fake competitive for a little bit. But that's how I feel about that. But I get what they're doing by the booking. I just don't personally care too much about this. Shaun, what you think about Lakers and Celtics?
I agree with you, man. Everything you just said. They're trying to hold on to, the rivalry of the past, but the NBA is different now. I don't even know if there's a true rivalry right now in the NBA that's built on hate. I don't even know if that exists. But, I expect the game to be competitive. Last year it gave us the controversy at the end of regulation where LeBron getting fouled and a no call, right? Yeah. And then the Celtics had a big lead when they went out to LA, and LA came back, and that was a great game. So I expect another great game, but I expect the Celtics to come away with the victory.
Dante, are you with me on the rivalry thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of one of those things you got to respect it because those respective franchises are a part of what helps save the NBA. So I think they'll always have that place, kind of like how the Cowboys and Lions always play on Thanksgiving. It's like the Celtics and the Lakers, they are who they are. And when you look at the landscape of basketball as a whole across this country, half of these kids play together their entire lives. So it's not those same rivalries. I remember I covered a couple of AAU tournaments. And, when you sit, if you ever wanted to talk to the parents and get some of the bullshit about AAU basketball, sit in the crowd with a notepad and like, they're going to think you're somebody. And so like we sitting there talking and the lady was like, we live in Memphis, but the coach called us. He did what he had to do and he got him down there to come play in that tournament. So, you see that type of shit. So it's not the same type of competitive nature as we saw back in the day, and that feeds into the lack of rivalry. So I agree. It's not many, like, the last real, fight was when Buddy from the Pistons chased LeBron around, or when Joker hit one of the Morris twins in the back. But other than that, you don't get those same fights where it's like, all right, next time they play, something's gonna pop off. That's just not this NBA no more.
Bang, what do you think about the NBA's primetime matchup here?
Shit, I thought it was gonna be Lakers versus Celtics to win this goddamn NBA Cup. So yeah, they gonna always force that legacy thing on us, but when you look at the games, you know what I'm saying, who's gonna score more points? Jason Tatum or the Ravens and 49ers?
You make some good ones today. You make some. I'm gonna go Ravens 49ers. I'm gonna go Ravens 49ers. I'm gonna go Ravens because you also got to count how many times Jaylen Brown's gonna dribble that basketball. So I felt that, man. This next game, I don't think it's gonna be a bad game. Like it's a competitive game. This is definitely a box score checking game. We'll see if this joint is close in the fourth quarter. And that's because I just don't like the style of play between these teams. And now the Philadelphia 76ers and the Miami Heat. Miami Heat will be hosting this game. Since they went to the NBA Finals last year. Quiet is kept. The Sixers been hooping even without James Harden. Tyrese Maxey has really stepped up. Nick Nurse is doing a good job out there. Shaun, what do you think about this matchup?
This matchup could definitely be a preview of either the semifinal in the Eastern Conference or Eastern Conference Finals, depending upon how everything lands in the regular season. Miami still scares me, bro. It's almost like everybody else is playing regular season and Miami is just
Heat
preparing for the playoffs. Yeah, they're just waiting for the playoffs. Like, okay, we'll just coast. We'll sit Bam, make sure he's rested. Oh, Tyler, you need some rest. You're injured again. And remember, last year they played without Tyler Hero in the playoffs. So in this matchup, I think it's going to be hotly contested, right? I want to see if Bam is healthy. Because if Bam is not healthy, then the Sixers are going to dominate. Because Embiid is going to dominate. But if Bam is healthy, I think we get a really good game. And I'll go with the Heat. I'll go with the Heat in the matchup.
Bang, what you think about this one? Jimmy and Joel have a friendship. I think Joel's still hot that they let Jimmy go. What do you think about this game?
Yeah, he's still hot that he let him go. But also I think that Embiid has been, I guess you could say, we haven't heard a lot from him. There's been a lot of stuff going on in the NBA. So Christmas is a time for giving, and he's going to give them 40. I got the Sixers.
Dante, what you got on this?
40, 10, and 10.
I can see
10
that.
blocks.
I can see that.
This will be a good game. I'm gonna go with Miami. I've laid down on my Jimmy Butler hate. The guy's really good. So I'm gonna go with Miami.
Jimmy Butler is my oldest son, as I like to say. I've been through the thick and thin of battles with Bulls Twitter over this man for a long time, and I think I've come out vindicated. So I'm gonna go with the Miami Heat in this game. Final NBA game. This one was supposed to be Kyrie, Luka versus the big three in Phoenix. This is gonna be an old school shootout. I don't think any defense is gonna be played in this. It's gonna be KD and Book going up against Luka. I don't like anything about this Phoenix Suns team. I don't like how it's constructed with or without Bradley Beal, and I really like how the Mavericks are playing. Kyrie is going to be out for a couple weeks, with that ankle injury, but I don't think that's really going to matter because Luka can sometimes, at least for one game, be a one-man team, especially in a big situation like a Christmas game. So I'm going to go with the Dallas Mavericks in this one. I'm going to circle right back to Dante. What you think about Luka and KD and Book in this game?
Oh, man, I'm going Mavericks, bro. I'm so done with the Suns, bro. It's kind of crazy. Like I have no interest in watching that team. I don't expect much from them. Like, I don't think they're gonna be a real threat to anybody. I think on Christmas they probably gonna get smoked.
Shaun, what you think about these two teams here in this matchup? Final NBA game of Christmas schedule.
I'm right there with Dante, man. Is there anybody in the NBA right now more disrespectful than Luka on a daily? Like, Luka just scores on you, gives you a crazy look, tells you anything, talks to you crazy. He is pure entertainment. If you like just hooping, because that's what he does. He just hoops, man. And I'm really loving what they're doing in Dallas, despite the injuries. They've been playing well. And yeah, like Dante said, man, the Phoenix Suns have been one of the biggest disappointments in the NBA season. They really have. And bang, is Bradley Beal up in St. Louis with your boy Lawrence Maroney? Is that what he is?
Don't do that. Don't do that.
He said, "I have no comment."
I heard. Hey, Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving is just a different feel around him.
Or he got paid.
Other than just getting paid, because he could get paid and still,
I think he actually likes Dallas.
Right. He even said the other day that he wish he would have got drafted by Dallas. If he would have known what he knew now,
yeah,
he would have just got drafted by Dallas. So yeah, no, I think it's the Mavericks, but in part of that, I think it's Kyrie Irving's night and not Luka's night.
Kyrie is on crutches, so he's probably not gonna play.
Oh, he hurt his leg. Oh shit!
Yeah, it was an accidental.
But he fell
injury.
on him.
But
I forgot about that. I forgot about that. That's my bad. I totally forgot about that. Well, Luka is gonna go for 35, 10, and 10.
Something light. We're in 5 minutes. We're gonna be switching over to Patreon to talk about the Bears. Probably only be about, I don't know how many minutes you got, Ben. How many minutes y'all got this week? Because I know Bang got kids. That's an important question to ask in overtime. So I don't give these niggas.
I mean, let's go.
I got about 30 in me.
Okay. All right, cool.
That's what y'all got.
Okay. So we're gonna do that in a minute. But Raiders, Chiefs. If me and Bang have to, go a little further than 30 minutes, and then we can do that because I got a lot more stuff to say about the Bears. But Raiders, Chiefs, the question that Bang just asked about who's going to score more. I'm going to go Chiefs with this one. Now, we have 2 division games. I'm going to go Chiefs with this one. But I think this is going to go down to the wire, dog. Like, this is something to me where I think it's going to go down to the wire. I just do not trust that Chiefs offense. And even them beating New England, I wasn't impressed. They only scored 27 points because they got an interception. Now, granted, they can do that against McConnell and them, but I feel like this is something where Antonio, and I think they'll be ready to go out there and try to win. This game they had in Vegas was pretty close. So I'm gonna go with the Chiefs in this one. I'm gonna go to Bang first since he asked the question of who's gonna score more points. What do you think about this matchup?
Oh man, I don't think it's gonna be as close as that. I think we're getting close to the heel turn of Patrick Mahomes. I think we almost there. And I think I will say that the fire will be lit before we see it on TV. And I don't think that they want us to see, hood Patrick Mahomes come out. The Patrick Mahomes that drinks Coors Light. They don't want that one to come out.
Lil Von.
Yeah. So I'll say that I believe, the Chiefs win, let's say 28-7.
You think it'll be a blowout? Okay. Shaun, what you think about this division matchup?
I think they win and they clinch the division championship again, if I'm not mistaken, this weekend.
Yeah, I think
so.
Yeah.
I think that's big motivation for them. They come out with one of their better performances of the season. Let's say 30-13.
Dante, you with them? This is gonna be a blowout.
Yeah, it's not gonna be a close game. Like I told you a couple weeks ago, the whole fanfare around the Raiders is worn off. I know they won a couple weeks ago, but no, they're gonna get smoked.
I don't have any fanfare of the Raiders. I just don't remember last time these niggas scored 30 points in the Chiefs. So that's like my hesitation with it. And it's to me, it's more about the Chiefs more than the Raiders. I just got to see them niggas score points. This next one, another division matchup, will be in Philadelphia. It will be the New York Giants. Tommy DeVito, aka Jackie Aprile Jr., and the Giants. They finally lost yesterday. He, did not play well against that Saints defense. Going against the Eagles, I think this game gonna go one or two ways. I think the Eagles win both ways, by the way. Just get that out there. I think the Eagles win both ways. But I can see this be one where the Eagles just flat out just wash them, and it's not even close. They hop on from the gate. or they keep him around. You let Tommy DeVito do a little bit, the Linsanity thing, the Italian Linsanity thing he's been doing, and maybe it's closer, and the Eagles end up winning by a field goal. We're gonna see shots of his agent, who is all in the videos, and I think he's looking like an industry plant. But that's besides the point. Dante, where you going with this matchup?
Eagles, without a doubt. I know Jalen Hurts has been hobbled, but we see him up here right now doing this thing. They'll do more than enough, but it's been a good story. Buddy in his terrible suits, but no, it's over. The Eagles are gonna take care of business.
Bang, Shaun, do y'all agree with this gentleman, or do y'all have a different take?
Hey man,
No.
EGLAES, Eagles.
I agree.
I agree, dude. The Kendrick Perkins, I agree. Final game of the evening. This is The Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. This is what everybody has been waiting for. The two number one seeds in the NFL. You've got the San Francisco 49ers on one side of the ring. You got Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens on the other side. Both teams coming off dubs. This game will be in San Francisco. I think this is going to be a highly competitive game. I think that the Ravens are gonna bring it, but like I said, I'm on the Niners, bro, and I think they got this game circled. Remember, Shaun and Ben, you both said they get a kick out of putting their neck on. You think they hear? Oh, okay, we dealt with one mobile quarterback before. We finna get another one. I think that they're going to win. I think they're gonna win by double digits. No, I don't think this is gonna be a blowout, but I think it's gonna be something where maybe it's like a 7-point game in the fourth quarter. Purdy scores a touchdown, Lamar throws a pick, maybe even a pick six, and they end up winning. I'm going to say something like final score 38-24. I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens. I'm not the Baltimore Ravens, San Francisco 49ers. Dante, are you with me, or you think the Ravens can go out there and do an upset?
Going out west, I don't know how that's going to be tough. It's gonna be tough. The Niners at home, like we said. I know we joke around. Well, not joke around. It's a fact. It's not San Francisco, but coming across the country, Monday Night Football. I like the Niners, bro. They've been making a point all season, like really put their foot on people's necks when the time comes. So I like them to take care of business on Monday Night Football.
Shaun, what you got in this?
Yo, I really would have given the Ravens a shot, but that Keaton injury last night, losing him for the season, is huge. And you could tell the way, Lamar reacted to it. Like, and he knew, like, that's one of my big play guys, right? Him and Zay Flowers. And losing him is huge. So it's going to be a lot on Lamar's shoulder going up against that front seven out there in San Francisco. And I don't think they're going to be able to make any hay. The Baltimore Ravens defense has been pretty good. They have some really good players, but like you said, for some reason, once it gets to the fourth quarter, their defense is giving games away, right? So I think early on, this is going to be about the start. If they can muck it up and make the start of the game like a real sloppy physical game and stay in it and make it a Justin Tucker game late with a field goal, they'll have an opportunity. But if it's just this is actually the stage where you decide who's the best offensive player of the year in the NFL. Is it going to be Christian McCaffrey or is it going to be Perk? Like that's on the same team, and then you got Lamar as well. So big time game, but I'll roll definitely double digits. I think the 49ers pull away.
Two-part question, Bang. Who you got, and how many bottles in will you be in by the time this game actually comes on?
I will probably be done with a half a pint of Reposado about that time. And I have the Ravens versus the Niners.
Yeah, I thought you were going with the Ravens. I thought you were going Ravens. Okay.
42-19 Ravens. Niners, excuse me. 42-19 Niners.
Yeah.
Niners,
it can get ugly.
Niners gonna make a statement. I don't think it's not it can get ugly. I think it's gonna be I think it's gonna be decent first half. Second half, Debo and CMC show.
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to that, man. Crazy slate. That is all we've got for y'all on I'm Not Gonna Hold You Today, last episode of 2020. Me, Bang, and Dante about to record overtime. Dante might only do a couple minutes overtime. I feel him. It's like 8:30. It's almost 9 o'clock out there. But me and man, we got a lot to talk about too. So we're gonna go even if Dante got a bounce. But we're gonna get into the Bears. Just some comments that Jalen Johnson made, comments DJ Moore made. That we're gonna get a little messy on that. We're going to talk about that. I want to thank everybody once again for watching this show. I want to thank everybody who ever, looked at a clip, whether you agree with me, disagree with me. I couldn't be able to do this. We couldn't be able to do this without y'all support. We're going to have bigger and better things in 2024, man. I want to give a shout out to my guys Pavi, my guys TPJ for their platform here at H&B Media, for me being able to talk to you people and this subscriber base that you guys have, for us to bring a little football and baseball, because it's mainly basketball content on here. So we giving y'all some other stuff too. So I appreciate those two of my best friends that I grew up with to help me give me this platform. And Shaun, brother, I want to thank you for coming on here. Not only that, but I want to thank you for getting me into this media circle. Because like I said, we were joking before. You, my guy Jared Payton, Bang, y'all put the battery in my back like 7 years ago when I came on WGN radio. I was only a year into doing 79th and House at that time, but I hadn't taken it seriously. It was just some stuff I was doing with my brother. After being on WGN, I kind of got the bug. So I just thank y'all for that, and thank you for being on the show and joining us. We know you're busy and got a lot of things going on, man. Is there anything you want to say? Let people know where they can get in tune with you before we get up out of here.
Oh, SD2 Mike's Instagram and Twitter. You can follow me, man, especially if you love college football. We got National Signing Day coming up on Thursday, so a day full of shows and just covering college football and recruiting for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, man. That's where you'll find me, and always tweeting about Chicago sports and sports in general. Appreciate you guys, man. Eternal blessings, and hope everyone enjoys their holidays. And yeah. Thanks for having me on the show, man. Love you, brothers, man. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Patreon.com/Barbers Chat Network. Go there right now. We're going to record overtime, the final summer sessions 2023. I know we ain't done a summer sessions in a month, but we will be recording tomorrow, and that thing will be available on Wednesday. It'll be me, Bang, Pavi, Merk, closing that out, man. We appreciate each and every last one of y'all. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Barbershop Scott. Follow Dante on Twitter at OctoberZonte. Follow JR Bang at JR Bang on all platforms. I'm not going to hold you. Holiday special drops on the Patreon on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, and on the H&B Media YouTube on Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Y'all enjoy y'all holiday. Have a good Christmas. Have a great New Year. We'll holler at y'all on January 8th. We up out of here.
Paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna